kick it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody's like, well, I can't believe you kicked a dog.
Yeah. It's like, well, the dog is a piece of shit.
That was so good. That's got to go.
Yeah. Yeah, the dog was a piece, man.
The dog was
So he fucking bit me 20 times. Finally, I was like, hey, fuck this dog.
Right? I just don't understand that, how people are going to be, how people are expected to get along with people who want to kill them.
Yeah. It doesn't work, man.
It does not work at all.
Yeah. Same as letting them in here. Doesn't work, man. Can't have people that are just completely disagree. Their whole life system is completely different.
Yeah.
You know? And you just expect everybody to coexist. Like I said before, like I think that intellectual diversity is a good thing.
Oh, 100%.
Cultural diversity doesn't help anybody really.
No.
You know, if your cultures are completely polarizing and opposite, then how is that going to work?
And like
big picture, you know, it's like
that doesn't mean you got to like that if you come here you have to completely give up your culture, right?
No.
Like I like going to like you see lots of cultures that have festivals and you know and or like I want to say like food contests, but like where you can sample all the different food from the
for sure, bad. Yeah, no.
and stuff like that. But
I'm saying when you're trying to change it,
that's
what the country is. You can still talk about your country there, show what your country has, food wise or art and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But when you're trying to make the country change laws and beliefs to how your country was, it's like you can't. Yeah, that doesn't work, man.
You know,
and the people who are down for that are like it's only because it hasn't affected them personally yet.
Yeah,
they're just usually they're social justice warriors or. Trying to, you know, sound like they're better people than they are.
Yeah. And
you've seen those, there's like lots of videos online, but in the States where they'll like, hey, I got an illegal immigrant here, he needs a place to stay. They'll go to like those protests, right? Like super Democrat protests or whatever. Like, can he stay at your place? This is my buddy Felipe, he needs a place to stay or whatever, right? And they're like, no. It's like, why? Like, I don't know who he is. And they're like, well, exactly.
I was just thinking, could you imagine if you got an illegal immigrant in your house and you called ICE and you're like, hey, I got this guy, he's a legal immigrant, he's looking for a place to stay.
Yeah.
Can he come stay with you?
Yeah. Oh, man.
And you know what? It's sad. I understand. Like, I'm not heartless, right?
Yeah, the humanity of it.
I understand the humanity of it. And I understand that there are people who live in absolutely deplorable conditions in other countries. And, you know, if somebody wants to work hard and actually become like a Canadian citizen, like truly a Canadian citizen, I have zero problems with that. The problem is you know, we get so the Liberals are getting so bent out of shape about all of these people are flooding the borders, right? Mm-hmm. And the thing is that you're not getting to weed out the bad ones.
Yeah.
Right. I remember. A guy gave me this thing once back long ago. He said, imagine somebody gives you a bowl of Skittles, right? There's 100 Skittles in there. And they say, here, you can have these of yours, they're delicious. But one of them's poison, it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
But you don't know which one it is, right? Are you going to eat them?
Yeah, no way.
Right?
Yeah.
That bowl gets thrown away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that there's 99 good ones, it's the one bad one.
Yeah.
And the things that go on in these countries, people don't understand how horrible they are, right? So when they get a bad person in from another country, like we think of the bad people we have here, you know, the guy who goes out and gets into fights on the weekends and, you know, beats up a couple people and he's kind of a dick to his girlfriend. These people murder hundreds of people.
Yeah,
their bad ones are bad.
That's right, man. From like El Salvador and stuff,
Yeah.
and crazy places where murder's common and these aren't just low, like you say, low quality criminals.
Yeah,
they're dangerous folks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's the problem with that, right? You gotta, I got no problems with letting people in. Like I said, if they want to work, if they want to be a citizen, if they want to learn our ways and be a contributing member of society, but at the end of the day, you know, we can't let the bad ones in.
No,
we just can't.
That's just why you lock your door at night too.
Yeah.
You know, you can't trust everybody.
Yeah.
And especially if you feel like they're criminal. You know, that's just if you know they're criminal, they got a criminal record or whatever. It's like, sorry, man.
Yeah.
You know, can't take a chance, especially if it's violent crime.
Yeah.
You know, if it was stealing a loaf of bread because you're poor, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, when you're talking about raping and pillaging and killing people,
yeah,
we don't need you here.
No.
You know, unfortunately, you had your shot over there, and it didn't. You went the wrong way.
Yeah.
Your moral compass is wrecked.
Yeah.
So we don't need you over here.
That's a great way to put it. Your moral compass is wrecked.
Yeah.
You're so used to how it is over there.
Yeah.
that
and you're not going to change here.
Yeah, you can't come here and be civilized.
Yeah, that's right. They're just
Right.
yeah.
That's when you see, like, I remember a couple years back in Vancouver, some guy attacked a bunch of people at a SkyTrain station with a machete, right? An immigrant.
Yeah.
I saw a video of a guy, a black Muslim in Toronto, telling a reporter that if a woman dresses scantily clad, that she's asking to be the R worded.
Yeah, have terrible things done to her.
Have terrible things done to her, and that he was okay with doing it.
Yeah.
Because she was asking for it, you know, and this is the stuff, like, these are basic principles in our society of what's expected.
Yeah, exactly. To try to be a decent human being.
Yeah.
And they're not people like that. Yeah, they're not going to learn just to coexist and get along with our rules and our way of doing things, right? They have their moral compass is wrecked, dude. So it's like they don't see the world the same way we see it.
Yeah.
And they're going to come over here and it's going to be like, these guys are so weak. It's so easy to do all this stuff here. Oh my goodness, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, man. We got hopefully, like, I don't know, like I said, I was saying before we started here, but the longer this goes on with this frickin' Peruga government, man, you're not seeing anything about him in the news, man. They're completely like media blackout about Pierre now. You don't see anything about him. At least not on my feeds when I'm looking on Google News and everything else, right? CBC, it's all about Carney. Mm-hmm. Everything's about Carney now and the Liberals, and you don't see anything about Pierre, man. Yeah. So, like, they're trying just to kind of weed him out and give this guy all the publicity that they can give him. And I gotta say, man, if the Liberals come back again and they end up somehow winning this election again, man, like, Canada is in for a, oh my God, man. Can you imagine what the States is gonna do too if we get another loser
if they get another Carney in there, they will lose their shit.
Yeah, like they're not. Everybody's so pissed off at Trump too, right? Like what Trump's done hasn't been good for Canada, no doubt about it. It's not good for Canada. But guess what? His job isn't to do good things for Canada.
No, it's to do good things for America.
You know, it's like, so can you be mad at him? I can be mad at him about some of the shit that he wants to do. You know, that, like, in regards to Canada, I was reading a thing today that he wants to reroute a bunch of rivers and shit to make them go down to the States because they have a water shortage down there and stuff. And he's like, there's a big faucet up in Canada that we need to open to get water down here. Which I think is bullshit too. It goes along the same lines as the national park stuff that we talked about before, right? Like, that shit's not cool to me. Anything environmentally wise like that, I'm not down with, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, that kind of stuff, not cool with, man. I'm not down with him to do that. But when it comes to him just wanting us to hold up our end of the bargain when it comes to military and stuff like that and our borders, man, we should be doing that already, like we talked about before too. So it's like, our country did this to itself, you know. We've already imposed carbon tax, man. I got on my freaking gas bill. I don't know if you noticed that yours went up. Mine went up like there was $100 of carbon tax on my last bill.
That's crazy.
It was insane. We had a really cold month, right? So, but it was $400.
That's wild.
And $100 of that was carbon tax.
Yeah.
Like, I was ready to freak out when I seen my bill. Couldn't believe it, man. And it's like, I knew that they said that it was coming up, right? That they were doing another 20% increase on them.
Yeah.
What do all the libs think all that is, you know? He's the one who killed all the pipelines. Trudeau's done all this terrible stuff to our country. It could have put us in a better spot where this stuff would never have been happening with the States. Yeah. But everybody wants to point the finger at Trump. Oh, look what he's doing. Look what our own country did to us, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, let's be honest and be open about it. Like, sure, what Trump's doing isn't helping us in any stretch. It's not going to help Canada. But that's not what he's there to do. We're supposed to have a leader that looks out for us and tries to help us, which we haven't had for 9 years.
We definitely have.
So, like, he's completely let our country fall apart. And all of our resources that we should have been getting after when we had the chance and stuff too, in the military, the funding that we could have had. Because times of peace are the times you bulk up your military. Yep. That's when you do it. Not when the time of war comes or in hard times when you're completely broke, like we are now. He had a chance to make our military, you know, at least bottom of the barrel, meeting the 3% quota that we're supposed to for NATO. Now he's saying 2035. It's like, it doesn't make...
That's crazy.
It's his outlook, man. Is always like utopia, right? Yeah. It's like, oh, everything's going to be peachy. You know, we got America here, our big brother looking after us all the time. Mm-hmm. So we don't need to put the money into, there's no way they're ever going to let anybody do anything to Canada. And they may not, you know. But I mean, Russia is right there. Yeah. You know? And it's like, we do have a lot of resources. So, and because Trump's making enemies all over the world right now too, you know, it's not just Canada. Yeah. You know, he's putting tariffs on China, talking about all that Greenland shit. He just freaking with Zelensky, Did you see what he wrote about him, saying that it was Zelensky's fault that the war started and stuff, and Zelensky's a dictator. Yeah, and he hasn't been letting any elections happen. Most of the money that they've given him, they said, is missing.
Yeah.
Which is like standard protocol. It seems like every government is just absolutely corrupt in the world, because like they can't account for with the Department of Defense and stuff, and the Treasury in the United States too. They said there's like almost like a freaking $1 trillion that's unaccounted for. It's like, what are you talking about?
No idea where it went.
No idea where it went. Like when you get audited at home, guess what? You need to account for every freaking dollar you spent. Your tax returns, you need to account for every dollar. You telling me that they can't look into it and find out where the hell all this went to? Yeah. And they're not keeping track? Like, it's completely insane, man. That's even allowed, and that we're like, it's crazy that people don't rise up over stuff like that anymore. Yeah. To me, man, it's like we're just so distracted, man. But it's like that back in the day, people would have been going with pitchforks to the frickin' to Congress, the House of Commons, to wherever, and been like, you guys need to leave now. Like, you get people in here that are actually going to care about us, because that's insane. And like, Zelensky should be happy too. He's got all this aid coming over to him, and he's always it ain't good enough. We need more. We need more. We need more. Right? And it's like, he may need more, but you should damn well be keeping track of what the money you did have went to, making sure it's actually going to your military. Yeah. Because I don't think a lot of it did. No. By the sounds of it, right?
I saw something about his wife having a whole bunch of like luxury goods and stuff that they shouldn't be able to afford, cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So yeah, he's getting same thing that every government does, man. He's taking kickbacks and stuff from other people, right?
And they were super corrupt before the
war started. Right? Yeah.
Right. They were known to be very, very corrupt. You got to remember, this is the country that Biden's son was running the
that was getting millions of dollars from.
Yeah. And they're super corrupt country. Has been for a long time. Apparently the country itself, from what I've heard too, is like there's a lot of Nazis living in the Ukraine.
Well, apparently too, I was just reading an article too that said that even like Biden wasn't cool with them even too. They're making it sound like this is just a Trump thing, right? Like Biden was actually getting pissed because they couldn't account for their stuff even. Yeah. Biden has dementia.
Yeah. He's like...
So if Biden recognized it, what's all your liberals' fucking problems, man? You can't realize it? Like...
Biden walks in, he's like, I had a bag with $1 trillion.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh well.
Yeah, oh well. But he was like, didn't we give a bunch of money to you though, guy? Like, what did you do with the money? So, yeah, I don't know. I was actually, a buddy of mine called me today that he's in the Canadian military. And unfortunately I missed the call. I wanted to talk to him about what he thinks about the whole situation too. Because he's the one who's told me in the past too, like, we don't got nothing, man, for military equipment and stuff, and how old everything is, and it's like we're really in rough shape. So, I don't know, man. I don't think that we need to be making any more enemies, for one. Like, Trudeau's made a bunch of enemies with powerful countries and stuff, right? And I'm not saying we need to be counting down. Not by any stretch am I saying that, like, we need to be Putin's best buddy, or we need to be fucking Xing's best buddy. No. What we need to do, though, is put money into our military, so when we talk shit, we can back it up. Yeah. If something does happen, right, they're not just going to walk all over us. Because that is, people act like that's all in the past. That stuff doesn't happen anymore. There's zero chance it could ever happen here in Canada. There's just always a chance something like that could go on, man. Especially when we're so unprepared. Mm-hmm. Like, it wouldn't, Canada's enormous. So, how are we going to mobilize all of our stuff even, like we don't even... they'd be able to take over half the country before we could even get our shit together.
I think we got like 12 tanks.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, one city we might be able to hold.
Yeah, maybe.
For a day.
Like a small city.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'd be able to hold like, I don't know, Brockett.
Oh,
man. I don't know, dude.
Sitting there in the middle of Brockett, like, what the fuck are we doing? Let's just give them this place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, like, because if the states wanted, they could take it, or they could whip us in a day, but that's not what they're talking about. And somebody actually called my daughter, like one of her friends who went, they went on a tour group thing there last year to Paris with a bunch of people from the States. Yeah. And one of the girls that she went with from the States messaged her yesterday and was like, are we at war with Canada? And she's like, what? She's like, no. She's like, we're trade war. Kind of, is what, like, not at war. She's like, oh, okay, thanks. She's like, I heard that we were at war with Canada. This is just weird to hear.
That's why.
From the States saying that.
Yeah.
But because if they were at war with Canada, the war would be over.
Oh, did you hear about, speaking of war, did you hear about Justin Trudeau, the message he sent to Trump after the hockey game?
Oh, and he said, yeah, you can't take
our country, and you
can't take our game. Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Dude, he needs just to shut his mouth, man. And like, just stop poking the bear.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's what he needs to do.
Like, I'm not saying you got to go along with Donald Trump, but like, don't get into a war.
Yeah, because he's like committed to being like, he doesn't like getting embarrassed by people and all this shit, right? So it's like, and he has the means to make it a lot harder on us than we can do for him.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to explain to this guy the other day. I was talking to him about it, and he was like, I was like, what, what's us is not taking Jack Daniels ain't going to be the end of the world for him. And he's like, oh yes, it will. It's going to hurt him bad. I was like,
no.
It ain't going to hurt him bad, man. No. We got, 30 million people here, 50 million people, whatever it is?
I think 40.
Yeah, they got 400 million.
Yeah, it's
There bit of Jack Daniels that comes here, it ain't going to hurt. Though they're still shipping that stuff all to the rest of the world, too. Yeah. Not just to Canada. So they'll just ship it somewhere else. It's not going to be the end of the world for them not to be shipping that stuff here. So it's like, and I'm not saying, I honestly think that if we don't get Pierre in there, somebody who can at least talk to him like a normal human being, if you're going to go in there with some woke shit, he ain't going to be.
No.
There's no compromising with Trump. That's the thing. Trump doesn't compromise.
Look what he's doing in his own country.
Exactly.
Like, he's not going to be happy with us having that.
That's right, man. And, in my opinion, I'm not going to be happy with it either.
I'm not going to be happy.
So it's like, I want somebody to go in there with the backbone to him who's going to be like, you know what, Trump? Fuck off with all this stuff about the tariffs and all that shit. Like, we had a weak guy in here for the last 9 years. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to beef up our military is number one. Our border is going to be number two. Like, we're going to be getting on track because we want the same things, And we're going to get a lot of this woke nonsense out of our stuff too. I think if they did those three things, there would be a pretty big change in the relationship, at least being on the right, starting to move towards the right foot, you know what I mean? Because right now it's like, they're just completely opposite ideologies, right? And Trump has zero respect for Trudeau because all has Trudeau done for the last 9 years since he's been in there, because Trump got in his first term right after Trudeau did.
Yeah.
It was 2015 and 2016 for Trump. Mm-hmm. Trudeau spent the last 8 years bashing Trump all the time. Every chance he gets, no matter what, he's talking shit about him, right? And even when recently, when he just won the election, they're saying they missed another chance to do what's right and vote in the first woman president and all this stuff. Like, so of course, Trump went in there, he's like, I'm going to humiliate this guy.
Yep.
It's
personal.
Yeah, it's personal. It's a personal vendetta at this point. He doesn't care. And, that's not good for Canada at all.
And we've seen that Trump will go after somebody and destroy them when it's not personal.
That's right.
Right? This is personal.
This is personal. So it's not going to be good for Canada.
It's not going to be good.
Yeah, that's not what he cares about. He cares about what's good for his own country. So we need somebody who's actually strong, who's willing to be like step up and actually have a backbone and put some kind of, not fear into Trump, but respect.
Respect.
Yeah, that he's like, hey, you know what, this guy's at least talking a good game, and that sounds like he's serious about what he's saying. Not a completely phony, fake human being.
And you know what? At the end of the day, I believe that Trump, for all of his issues with coming across as loud and belligerent, at the end of the day, Trump is only trying to do the best he can for his country.
Yeah.
I think he's only trying to do the best he can for his people. And if you come at him from a place of sanity and logic and just show that you're willing to do these things and come at it not as, oh, we're going to do this because you said so, but come at him and say, oh, we're going to do this because it should have been done.
Yeah, it should have been done.
Right? We had a weak leader before, he didn't do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. You don't need to be... It's okay to say he's right about some shit too. Because he is right about that. Trump is right about that.
Yeah.
That we should have been taking care of our military. It's not up to him to look after us. And it shouldn't be up to the states to look after us. Mm-hmm. If we were holding our own, we had a good military and somebody that really powerful came and tried to... we need backup. Yeah. But we need to at least show that we're trying. Yeah. Not be the weakest guy and the weakest guy at the bar picking all the fights. Yeah. That's what it is. You always got that scrawny little dude who's always lipping off small man syndrome. You want a piece of me? Like 4 feet tall. Yeah. Yeah, you know that guy? Yeah. That's like what we are. It's like, because Trudeau likes to point his finger and talk all tough about Russia and all this shit. And it's like, you better back it up with some military power here. Because I know I've always said that I don't like that we completely rely on the states to have to back us up. Man.
It's not right.
It's a coward's way of living. You're always living vicariously because you got backup, so you can say whatever you want. Yeah. Yeah, it's a weak way to live, man.
No, for sure.
I'm not down with that. I don't like that, man. I think that's a kind of the main. Like, I'm just surprised that the Liberals, like in general, because they were in the States for the last fucking 12 years too. at least they were still paying their military over there. You know, it's like we just even our liberals here don't want any part of the military. It's like, what the fuck's the deal with that?
During COVID, they actually cleaned out military barracks so that immigrants would have a place to
Yeah,
stay.
man, isn't that like just
Like,
how blind are you and like naive are you to think that we don't need a military? Where is this utopia that exists that none of us seem to know about,
Yeah.
but Trudeau knows about? This crazy utopia where we don't need a military.
Well, he's a global citizen, right?
Yeah, global citizen.
He's a
Yeah,
global citizen. The world is perfect.
yeah. He's still probably wearing his Taylor Swift bracelet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world's so good.
My my wife, we were in Calgary last week, and she went to the thrift store. She wanted to do some thrift store shopping. She found herself a little peach-colored cup with a gold handle that says, "This is what a feminist looks like." So she bought it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta get Trudeau one of those.
How was the old Peterson?
Oh, Peterson was great. Yeah, I went and saw Jordan Peterson last week, saw him live. If you ever get the chance, I 100% recommend it. He is unbelievable. He did kind of a lecture. It was a little bit more of a religious one.
Yeah.
He did a lecture on how reality is a direct result of sacrifice. Right? Everything that has been made has been the result of people sacrificing or the sacrifice of something, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to make something of yourself, you need to be willing to sacrifice the parts of you that aren't gonna put you in that position.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Or, maybe people around you, or,
sacrifice friendships or certain ways of living.
Yeah, because everything is when you try to get into a position where you're accomplishing a lot, even the smallest little and this is me saying this wasn't part of his lecture, even the smallest little drag on you, like just that one person who kind of calls you up and says, "Oh, this is stupid, don't do that, let's go do this."
Yeah,
instead.
it tries to deflate you or knock you off your track.
And even that little drag brings your momentum down, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So that really hit me. And then he also talked about from a religious standpoint how you're expected to sacrifice for God and for your religion, and about the whole universe being an act of sacrifice.
He explains everything so well, hey? So it's like, man, his way of talking like really hits home with a lot of people just because how he explains it, man. He takes his time when he's speaking, like, so he makes sure he says things correctly, and yeah, he's just such a good influence for people, man.
For sure.
He got such a bad freaking rep from people, it's like if you actually listen to him, man, he's very logical, very reasonable person.
Yeah.
And most people would have a very hard time try to have a debate with that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to go against him in any way. It's like I've never seen anybody win a debate with him.
Yeah, the guy knows what he's talking about. Right?
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense, man.
And he's as far as critical thinking goes. I mean, watch that man's mind work. It's incredible the way he can work things out. He was trying to during the whole thing. He was trying to work out something that he was talking on the phone earlier with a guy who's a theologian and like not investigator, like scientists who went over religious.
Theologian.
Yeah. So they were going over this concept about what was there at the beginning of the universe, right? And because Jordan Peterson said it's funny, that all these scientists don't believe in miracles until it comes to the Big Bang.
Yeah.
And then it's like the one miracle they allow themselves because they have no other way to explain it.
Yeah,
right?
they said, well, you need to allow us one miracle, the beginning of the universe.
Yeah, the beginning of the universe.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, yeah, the beginning of the universe was a miracle.
Yeah.
And that was he talked about how the beginning of the universe was basically Christ.
Yeah, creating.
Yeah.
Like, what else can it be?
Yeah.
All this was created from nothing, and they just act like that's a completely normal thing to say.
Mm.
Like, well, yeah, obviously it all came from nothing. Duh.
Yeah.
It's like, and what was kicked it off? Nothing. Oh, duh.
That's just all of a sudden.
Yeah, we know that's just normal.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
All
duh.
the time.
Yeah, no, man. Like, it's amazing. It's a
I
miracle.
walked into my office just a couple of days ago and I was like, fuck, there's a universe in here now.
Yeah, well, dude, what do you know?
How'd that happen?
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, standard process.
Standard
Yeah, happens all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's insane, right?
That's cool, though. I wish I could have
It was
went and seen him, too. I do love listening to JP, man. He's one of my favorite guys.
It was really good. He also talked a little bit, they had a question period afterwards. He has this thing he does afterwards where he answers questions from the internet. You can like put them in online. And
oh, okay. He doesn't actually not ask the audience.
Yeah, not the audience. The audience was like 10, 20,000 people.
Yeah.
Right? So a little hard to get anything from him. But and his wife was actually, she usually helps him. She usually does a talk beforehand, and she was busy because he's having a granddaughter right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So his wife was up with his I think his daughter.
Yeah.
And she was having a baby, so his brother actually came with him.
Oh, really?
His little brother. And they talked a little bit about where they came from and what it was like there, and they talked a lot about what they both had to give up along the way in order to get to where they were.
Yeah, yeah. It's like some of the sacrifices.
Some of the sacrifices they made, right?
Yeah, cool, man.
And so that was cool. And then at the end, they did the question and answer period. And one of the questions was how do you feel about the Canadian political environment right now? Mm-hmm. And yeah, he had quite a bit to say about that.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, he basically said that he said I'll boil it down a little bit. He said that he finds it hard to think of this country as being his anymore. I'm probably getting this a little wrong. He probably said it a lot better because of the way the country treats him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is understandable. I mean, they tried to take away his...
everything. His license. It's basically wrecked his whole life.
Yeah, they tried to wreck his whole life.
Yeah.
Right? And he's moved to America now, and he's okay with that decision. Mm-hmm. And but yeah, he said if we don't get rid of Justin Trudeau, if we get Mark Carney, it's going to be worse than Trudeau.
Yeah.
He said Mark Carney is a wolf in sheep's clothing, and he is going to be just an absolute detriment to our society and our country, and he will destroy us.
Yeah.
And he said if we get him, we are done.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
And do you think it's fucking unfortunately very likely?
Yeah. He didn't go into anything about saying whether or not he thought that Canada should become the 51st state.
Yeah.
But he did say that if we get Mark Carney in there, he said it's this country is finished, and there's not going to be much for options.
No. Oh, there won't be. I'd like to know if anybody in the comments there, if you think Danielle Smith is a traitor to Canada for going and talking to Trump, hit us in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
I've been hearing that quite a bit too from people, and I'm just like kind of baffled. I'm like, to me, she's the only smart one in the country.
Yeah.
For trying to go, make a deal for Canada, and it's just amazing how all of a sudden everybody's all Canadian energy when nobody's cared about Alberta oil this entire time, and they've cut her off at the kneecap her. But then, I was talking to this guy recently here, and he was saying, I was saying that she was smart for going down to talk to Trump, and he was like just totally upset about it. She is a traitor to Canada. That's what she is. Every other premier is standing together, and she goes down there. Traitor to Canada is what she is.
Yeah.
And it's like, she went down there because nobody else is willing to. We don't have a leader. So like either the rest of the premiers could go down there and talk to him as well. They could have all went down there as a unit too, if we don't have a prime minister to go down there.
Yeah.
Because the prime minister is supposed to be looking after all of us. But guess what? We don't really have one.
We don't really have one.
We got a government that's prorogued still because of a goofball who's been our prime minister. And I think that's another reason why it's so easy for Trump to say all this crap right now.
Yeah.
Because we got nobody at the helm.
We
Our ship's got nobody at the helm. The rudder's just kicking us every which way. Yeah. It's like we got nothing happening for us right now. We got literally nobody at the helm. So it's like he can say whatever he wants. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
So for him too to be lipping off about anything and all these posts and stuff about hockey and all this crap that he's posting, it's like just to poke Trudeau even more. It's like, you're such a goof, man. I watched this little sidebar. I watched this video of Trudeau watching the gold medal game there. McDavid scored that goal.
Yeah.
He jumps up and yeah! When he scores a goal, gives this guy a hug. There's a guy behind him who you could tell, in my opinion, it looked like he was like, oh no, he's gonna turn to me and try to give me a hug. And so he like turned his back and like tried to go away, and then Judah like comes up and he's like trying to hug him from the side. He's like, yeah, and the guy's like, what the fuck? Man? Like, kind of goes like gives him a pat on the back, like, all right, pal. Like, yeah, you could tell that he was like, I don't know. In my opinion, he's like, fucking Drew's such a loser. Yeah, yeah, he didn't even want to touch him. But yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
he's such a goober, man. And he's just, well, he's a feminist, a fake feminist. But
fake feminist, yeah.
It's like, so he's just the most unmanly dude.
Mm-hmm.
No strikes, no fear in nobody.
Yeah.
So it's like Trump has no respect for that and just could care less. We need somebody in there as at least a man, or a very manly woman who's intimidating.
Yeah.
You know.
I'd take Danielle Smith.
Fucking rights, I would too, man.
You could get Danielle Smith in there.
Yeah, well, she's well spoken, man, and she has a backbone.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. She has a backbone to stand up for what she believes in.
Yeah. Not
just cow down to a bunch of frickin' social justice nonsense. Because like Nate said in his post that he posted to that frickin' place, it's like, when you boil it all down to facts, man, they don't have any.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have any. They're all about trust the science. Well, they don't trust the science. They don't look at science in general. Like, what's a woman? You know, they still can't answer it, like stuff like that. It's like they basic stuff.
I figured it out. I don't know if I told you. So if I say right now that I'm a woman, then I am now allowed to say what a woman is.
Okay.
Because only a woman knows what a woman is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right. So let me tell you, a woman is.
Nate's a woman.
I'm a woman now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go start joining some sports competitions.
That's right.
And showing these women what a real woman can do.
That's right.
And then on top of that, I will say that a woman is, what's a woman gonna be? I can make up whatever I want.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to even make any sense at all, Nate.
Yeah.
It could be completely abstract.
A woman is anybody who says they're a woman, but I have the right to change my mind as a woman at any time about
That's right.
what a woman is.
Yeah.
So don't quote me on that, but quote me on it.
That's right. It could be a horse too. Doesn't need to be human.
Could be a horse too.
It could be anything. Because, we're just completely... We've let all reality
Sanity.
all of our sanity's gone, man. Reality doesn't mean anything. It's like we're just willing to say anything at this point.
I'll be brutally honest. Everything that they say is a gender is a sexual preference.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So that's what I've always said too. It's like
right?
it's not your gender at all. It's just like saying gay is a gender.
Yeah.
It's like that's not a gender.
Do you ever hear a gay person come up and say, when they're asked what gender they are, come back and say, "Oh, I'm gay"?
Yeah.
No. They're like, "I'm a man" or "I'm a woman."
Exactly.
Right?
But somehow they got that thrown, the LGBTQ TRTDW, the other 75 things, but it's like how they just got lumped in together. P.S. Most of I know quite a few people who are gay.
Yeah.
Know a couple lesbians. They are all not cool with that.
Yeah.
That they all got lumped into that with them.
Mm.
They think it's hurting their own cause too, right? Yeah. And it's like, kind of does.
There's actually a big movement online with YouTube influencers and stuff who are gays, who are calling out the rest of the the community, the BTQ or whatever.
The rest of the alphabet.
I think B is bi, so they're okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the TQ, whatever, everything that comes after the B, they're kind of pissed off at.
Yeah.
Because they've made their lives worse.
100%.
Right? Gay people used to be like, no big deal, you're gay, so what?
Yeah.
Right? Now it's like, oh God, you're an LGBT, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so they're getting lumped in with them, right?
Yeah.
And they're not. Generally, if you go up to a gay man, I know a few gay men, and you go up to them and say, "Hey, what gender are you?" They'd be like, "I'm a guy."
Yeah.
Right?
And yes, not homophobic in any sense. I know quite a few gay dudes, and they're hilarious too, and a couple of beauties too. Yeah, we partied with a few of them there not that long ago, and it was hilarious, man. They were great times, and I got no problems with them at all whatsoever, man.
I remember I was partying with this gay guy one time, and he's a super nice guy, great guy. But he's sitting there, and he watched somebody else do something. He looked at it and he said, "I may be gay, but I'm not that gay."
Yeah, that's flaming.
Man, that's freaking hilarious.
Yeah. They got like levels to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. But yeah, Yeah, it has been detrimental to them, that whole freaking thing, man.
Yeah.
Just getting lumped in with them because it's like one's still reality and one's
Yeah.
just complete nonsense, right?
Yeah.
So
let's all keep that in mind. If you got a gay person or a lesbian or whatever, that they're probably, the odds are actually pretty good that they're not involved in any of this.
yeah, most of them, yeah.
Right.
That's right. When they say they're non-binary, that's when it starts getting weird.
Yeah.
You
As
know?
soon as you start taking gender, as soon as you start thinking of gender as something that's fluid,
Yeah.
it's a disaster.
Yeah, disaster.
Right?
That's right.
Jordan Peterson said something really interesting. He said, if you have a child and that child is non-binary or gender fluid, that you have a child with a mental disorder, right? And if you have two children who are transsexual or non-binary, he said that it's actually you
Yeah.
who has a mental disorder.
That's
Because
right.
the actual odds of having two transgenders,
Yeah, is like so minute.
it's so huge,
Yeah.
right? Or so minute, yeah.
The chances are very, very, very small that could possibly happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before, well, it's getting more common now, but before it was like, when I was growing up even, this was like, I graduated in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
There was 0 trans people in our school.
Yep.
And the only trans stuff I ever even seen was at the back of like a Hustler magazine. Or there'd be like some numbers and you're like, what the fuck? What is going on? It was not normal at all, right? So it was like 1 in probably thousands and thousands, 10,000 maybe, like that considered themselves that.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're saying like it's every school has friggin' dozens of them, right?
Yeah.
It's like, how is that possible? Because parents were pushing it on them.
Yeah.
There's 0 chance that that's not the case, especially when they have multiple, right? When they're talking like, oh, my kid's like 3 years old and they're struggling with him and her, who figuring out who they are. It's like, no, they're not. You are.
Yeah, it's you.
You've clearly been confusing them. Yeah.
No child is struggling to figure out anything. Kids want to play.
That's right.
Right? You leave a kid to their own devices, they want to play.
That's right. Your boy might put on a pink shirt. Guess what? Doesn't mean he's a girl.
Yeah.
You don't need to be like, oh my God, you are. Thank goodness. Yeah. Now we'll call you Stu.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay.
Yeah.
You're okay for us. You're a girl. You could be a girl. Should we each put some dresses on you for a while?
Yeah.
It's completely okay.
And
It's like the boy's like, what? I'm a girl?
Yeah.
Because I wore pink. They're 3. They're like, okay, mom. Like, and you could easily manipulate that kid and to bend them at your will. And like that's what they're doing. These people don't realize.
If you got parents and teachers coming up to them, oh, do you think you might be this way? Does that feel good to you? We could get you.
Yeah.
We could get you all of this if you are, and it's all attention, right?
That's
You
right.
give a kid attention, they're like, oh, cool, sounds good. I'll be that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Now, it make me special?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Right, exactly.
sweet. I'll be special. I get all these extra little benefits in life.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, I watched some absolute insanity the other day where these freaking trans people were talking at a town hall.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, dude. It was like, if there was ever a clear image of what mental, having mental issues was, like, it's like, just go look at these people. They were all like dudes with like wigs on and stuff and crazy makeup on there, and like, if you think Trump scares you, what do you think he's doing to me? And they're just like losing their minds screaming at this thing, right? And the people are like, okay, like, your time is up, my time is up, it's not up, your time is up, you need to listen to me.
Jesus.
And they're just losing it, right? But it's like, just strictly by appearance alone, I don't have to take you seriously.
Yeah.
Just by how you look. I'm sorry to say it, but when you look like a complete psychopath,
Mm-hmm.
like you look like the clown off It,
Mm-hmm.
You're all painted up and like you completely look ridiculous, and you're just like, I demand you take me seriously.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't. I'm not going to. I'm sorry. What's going to happen is I'm going to laugh out loud in your face, or go like, forget this. Like.
Yeah.
We're not going to take whatever this person's saying seriously at all, just because clearly they're insane.
Mm-hmm.
Look at them. They are insane. You can just tell somebody's insane sometimes,
Yeah.
eh?
Yeah.
You can just tell.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did they look just straight up appearance insane, how they were talking, their mannerisms, everything about it was like, this person has serious mental issues. Like, and majority of the people that are going through that, I'm sorry to say, that's what it is. It's like, and then I think that they get self-affirmed that so much by the schools and everything else that it's like, oh, poor you. So then they just get all fired up thinking that, yeah, this is me. Like, what is going on? Instead, they should probably be checked into
Yeah.
you know.
Look at Dylan Mulvaney. when he decided that he was becoming a woman. He's like day one of a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he got a sponsorship by a tampon company.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't wait to use these. You don't have a vagina.
You're never gonna get the chance,
right?
pal.
Where are you putting them?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, man.
Right? I mean, that's insanity.
Oh,
That
it is
literal insanity.
By that company too. It's just like, why are you pushing this nonsense? You know,
Yeah.
My God. I don't know, man. The world that we're living in, it's like a parody of a real what world used to be. We talked about this before. I think that there was like I think that the world did end in 2012. It just put us on a completely another timeline, and this is what we're living in now. It's like
where we're at.
The bizarro world off Seinfeld. We're just like in a completely alternate reality where everything's kind of similar, but like everything that was okay at one point everything that was wrong at one point is now okay.
Yeah.
And it's like we're just what?
Mm-hmm.
How is this happening? Like that's not normal. That's not okay.
Yeah.
But we're just supposed to act like it's okay and be like, yeah, that's progress. Yeah, that's not progress. Making things that were wrong now okay is not progress.
No, it's not.
As far as I'm concerned,
It's not.
Like that's what they describe progress as, though. You know, it's like what's been happening the last freaking 10 years, and again, I don't think the gay stuff is wrong. I'm not saying gay, but like thinking you're something completely that you're not, that's delusion. Yeah, and we should probably be helping those people.
Yeah.
You know,
and
not making it worse.
They used to. Yeah. Right? It used to be considered gender dysphoria was the technical term for it, and it was when you couldn't come to terms with what your gender was.
Yeah.
Right? And that was a mental disorder. And then they just decided they're like, oh no, it's not.
Yeah.
And just went away. The whole idea, and this is pretty recently, like within our time for sure.
Oh yeah.
That gender dysphoria was considered a real thing.
Yeah, like I'd say within like pretty much the last 10 years is when it's blown up.
Yeah.
You know, before then it wasn't even something that was in the normal vocabulary of everyday life. It wasn't something that was talked about or you seen. Yeah. Now it's so woke at the Disney movies and everything. It's just in every freaking thing.
And this whole idea that like the liberals have this idea that these multitude of genders are shown to be fact through their scientific scientifically
it's science
factual. It's science, right?
Oh my God! If there's scientists that are agreeing with that, they've been funded by Democrats and liberals and aren't actually doing real research. Because it's similar to climate change, Navy.
Yeah.
Climate change, you all get funded for climate change. P.S. I think that the climate's changing. 100% the climate is changing. But that climate's always been changing, guys. Yeah. And maybe it is ramping up. But guess what? It's also been warming up since the last ice age 10,000 years ago.
Yeah. It was really cold back then.
Yeah, it was really cold back then, guys. So what was our reasoning then? Why did it get so... What happened? You know, how did it create the ice age?
Yeah.
Was there people around with fossil fuels? No. It's because the sun goes through cycles too. Yeah. And right now we're going through a cycle. And it's going to be hot and it might melt a whole bunch of shit. The climate was actually much warmer when the dinosaurs were around too. That's something that we'll talk about. It was a completely different climate. Was there people around doing, pumping out oil and gas for the dinosaurs? No. It was the climate because it changes. Yeah. So, the climate is changing. But now the government will not fund research if you're going to prove that carbon dioxide is not the main contributing factor that's driving climate change. They won't even grant you the funds. Yeah. But if you're trying to prove that it is a contributing factor, they'll give you all the money you want. Yeah. So, and then it's easy to find the little bit of evidence. Have you ever seen the movie Inconvenient Truth? Yeah. It was with Leonardo DiCaprio and Al Gore, back in the day, right? Documentary. Yeah. I remember watching that because I was kind of liberal back in that day too. When you're young, usually most young people are kind of, right? They're kind of self-righteous.
I heard a quote for that, if you don't mind. Real quick. I read this quote once that I think it was George Carlin said, if you don't vote liberal when you're younger, then you have no heart. And if you don't vote conservative when you're older, then you have no brain. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Old George Carlin, what a beauty. But they showed this graph when Al Gore was on stage there, and they're showing all the different, the chemical makeup of our atmosphere and everything, right? And they got it on a graph, and they're showing CO2. And the CO2 compared to the 1980s, they say that the CO2 to when the last ice age was. What they think the CO2 levels were. Yeah. Carbon dioxide. And the CO2, the bar is this big, right?
And then all of a sudden now the bars, like, they had to create an extra large screen. It went to like the top of the roof of this building that they were in, right? The screen was like all the way at the top, like, this is what it's at now. And they're like, we're just on the precipice of an ice age. Look at how much difference there is. And the crowd's just like, oh. And like right then I was like, maybe that's because that's not the main factor.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. That's where my mind went to it. It's like, if that's the discrepancy and it's that much different, that's probably not the driving factor of why it was so cold back then.
Yeah.
Like, isn't it clear? Is it obvious? Like, they're showing that as like absolute evidence. Like, look at how much it is. Clearly, it's going to happen any moment. And it's like, no. I think that if anything, that's showing me that has nothing to do with why there was an ice age back then. Like, I don't know, but yeah.
By the way, according to that movie, New York's also supposed to be underwater now.
Yeah, most of the things are. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, so they kind of maybe didn't get it right.
Yeah, but the world's also been ending since like the 80s. There's always something going on. Maybe actually very much farther back than that even. But yeah, always something human-driven thing. Like, we have done a lot of bad stuff. Don't get me wrong. Oh yeah. That's why I'm not cool with Trump talking about taking over our national forest or taking our water from Canada down here. We got some pristine water, but we also got. They have too many people down there too. We can't just be rerouting rivers to go supply them down there too. Like, we need regulations on that kind of stuff. I 100% agree with that. Yeah. And I don't want our environment getting beaten up by how they want to do things. Like, we need national parks. We need to keep water clean. Here in the Elk Valley where we live, we got mining in the area and stuff. Like, they do an awful lot to make sure that the water quality. Like, we have some of the best fishing in the world here for bull trout and stuff, and they do tons of water testing every day. We work at a trucking company there. Well, I used to too, and we would every day. There's literally dozens and dozens and dozens of coolers that come in with dozen samples in each. So probably hundreds of samples every day that they're taking from rivers and stuff, and they get sent out every day to test the water here. And if there's a sample that gets missed, it's very, very crucial and important. They're like, hot shot this down to get tested right now. Like, it cannot be late. That's like one of the biggest things that they do and they care about. It's like, we care an awful lot about our water and stuff. They don't really have that, I don't think, down in the States too. Like, they have people that obviously care about their, the environment down there too. They have a lot of hunters and a lot of outdoors people and stuff too. But I don't know. I'm not down to be getting taken advantage of in that way. No, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Our environment is super important to me, and I just don't want to see. I don't want to see any of that going on, man. I don't know. Because I like some of the things that Trump does for his own country, right? But it's like I said earlier on in thing that he's not doing it for Canada. Like, nothing that he's doing is for Canada to make Canada great. No. So we need to have somebody who's willing to fight back against this kind of stuff. Because I gotta
do the stuff we gotta do.
Yeah,
I got us out of the stuff we shouldn't do.
That's right. Yeah, exactly, man. And have a leader that can stand up and actually be like, have a firm hand to be like, no, we're not doing this, and because Canada is like pretty well known for having some of the best wildlife experiences and stuff like that for wilderness and water and stuff like that in the world. Like, we got so many lakes and stuff down in Ontario too.
We have more lakes than any country in the world.
That's right.
Yeah.
And BC in particular has some of the best rivers too. So
it's beautiful out here.
Well, we do have dams and stuff that run down to the States from like Kookanusa and stuff, right? That ends up going down to the States, I believe, too. Yeah. So I was reading an article today about it actually, but there's some kind of they have this plan that they want to do in the States for having like a shared water thing. And apparently they've tried doing it already a few times and it never went through. But they wanted to pipe water from Alaska that comes down through Canada, through rivers that are in Canada. And they want to claim it as their water because it originates, these rivers or whatever, start in Alaska.
Oh, like from the, what do you call them? The ice.
Yeah, that too. And from like the Yukon River or whatever, right? Rivers that end up flowing through Alaska.
Yeah.
Like where the headwaters are or wherever. And he says that they want to claim them as United States even though they come through Canada and stuff, right? It's like, I don't know, dude.
That's a slippery slope.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope when you start doing stuff like that.
Because there's a lot of rivers that start in Canada
that
go into the States.
Exactly, man. It's like
you don't see us going after that. Like even that one, like Kookanusa that you're talking about, like that's dammed on the American side.
That's right. Yeah.
It's not us that dammed that.
No. But it's like that's pretty sure from what I know. I got a pretty big water system for them down there too that flows through there. Right? But they got like so many rivers that are down.
Yeah.
The Grand Canyon,
Mm-hmm.
you go to the Colorado that flows through there.
Yeah.
I learned this just from watching a movie a long time ago, but yeah, like you can't paddle on that river. When the government gets involved in this kind of shit, it blows me away, right?
Yeah.
Like where you need a permit to paddle on a river.
Yeah.
There's probably rivers here in Canada that we need it too, but as far as I know, that we're allowed to paddle on rivers. But I know like you need a permit to paddle on that river, to paddle on the Colorado.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it, they can kick you off, right? If you don't pay.
That's crazy.
Pay to paddle down the river.
That's
it's
wild.
like, you know, when the government starts getting involved in that kind of stuff, like it's completely unnecessary and unreasonable. I think that you heard how Elon, they cut like 1,000 jobs or whatever from the Department of like conservation or whatever.
Yeah.
People are freaking out about it, right? Saying, oh, they're going to go after all the resources and stuff. But it's like, from what I was reading, they're like taking away, basically it turns out to be like 2 or 3 employees from every park. And
that's pretty minor.
It is pretty minor in the big picture.
It's all about
right?
scale, right?
But at the same point, most, like I was reading tons of comments about it, right? And they're like, I've never had a problem with seeing too many park rangers at a park. Yeah. It's like, yeah, you don't usually. You're right. You don't see a ton of conservation officers and stuff. But what you do have is bureaucrats. Mm-hmm. Like above that aren't actually the foot soldiers on the ground, right? There's a ton of bureaucrats in suits that are making all these decisions and shit. Those are the ones that need to get kicked to the curb. Yeah. So I'm hoping that those are some of the ones that he's talking about too. When he's saying there's 1,000 people that are cutting jobs, I'm hoping that most of them are from the higher up positions, not so much the boots on the ground people, because those people are pretty critical.
I imagine it probably is the bureaucracy show, right? Because they're not saying you guys need to cut 1,000 people. They're saying these are the 1,000 people that are cut.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah. They're not letting the bureaucracy do the cutting.
Yeah. And the thing about bureaucracy is you get one guy on a shovel and 10 people tell him how to use it, and that system falls apart awfully fast.
But it's a very common way to do things.
It is, especially in Canadian politics.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we call that down here, well, maybe I won't say it, it's not politically correct. Well, it actually is, because I heard, not politically correct, but I actually heard it from a native. And he's an indigenous, but they call themselves Indians. But I remember I used to work with this guy, and he would always say, like, anytime there was a cluster going on at the job site, right? He'd be like, you know what it is, Donovan? Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. And he'd always say that every time. It was just hilarious. Yeah. But that's how it is, man. You have too many supervisors overseeing the guy with the shovel, you know, and it's like those, you can get rid of a lot of those jobs, man. They're unnecessary. 100%. And I think that's what Elon's going after, right? He's been getting chewed up lately, dude. Holy shit, man.
Trump's standing by him though. He's saying, no, this is what I want him to do.
Yeah, they're trying to turn him against each other. Did you see that? Yeah. They're calling him President Musk and his co-president Donald Trump, trying to, like, because Trump's an ego guy. Yeah. So they're trying to. He doesn't want to be like, oh, shined by Musk, right? Yeah. But I've been reading tons of stuff, and you don't even know what's true or not, right? But they said that recently they've been granted $100 million. That might have been short, actually. It might have been $1 billion. Maybe it's been $1 billion. I can't remember. It was a metric shit ton of money to a couple of Musk's companies recently. He's got some contracts, government contracts. So which I don't know if that's true or not either. But I wouldn't necessarily say that it's hard to say that it's not because he's in there at the same time, right? Because I know if it was the vice versa, if Trudeau's company was getting, I'd be choked. Yeah. So I get that. If they're granting contracts to himself, that's not cool either. So
I'm thinking at this point though, if he's been granted those contracts, like those were granted.
That's right. I was just gonna say that I did hear one of them specifically. They were trying to make it seem like Trump did it. Yeah. But they said that actually Biden granted this a while ago. It wasn't nothing to do with Trump, but they're trying to make it now because he's in office.
Like when they were talking about how he'd gotten a contract to build electric vehicles for the military. Well, it kind of seems to me that he's the best electric vehicle maker.
Yeah, and Biden made that deal before Trump even came in office.
Yeah, so it's like that seems legit to me.
Yeah, that's legit.
Right?
Exactly. But yeah, they've been trying to light him up lately, man, and they were saying, I watched a thing where he was saying that they're gonna, because he's all in with Trump, dude. Mm-hmm. Like I watched an interview with him the other day where they were trying to go after, they were actually saying, because Trump sued Twitter a while back, but it had nothing to do with Musk. Mm-hmm. It was what happened to Trump when COVID was going on. Yeah. And then I think Musk had already bought it out, but he was still suing it. Yeah. Because that's just the timeline that it happened that he was able to sue it or whatever, right? And Musk is like, I didn't get in the way of it. And he's like, you're okay with that. You're okay with him. You know, and the interviewer's like pointing at Trump, like he's trying to get them to fight with each other. Yeah. And he's like, I just want to go on record and say, like, I love the president.
Yeah.
He is doing a fantastic job. I think he's a moral and good man.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, there you go, that a boy, right? Like he was like, he's not going to let them manipulate them because he knows that that's what's going to happen. That's what they're going to try and do, right? To make them, and that's what they did in Trump's first term too. They were like any good person, they were turning on each other and stuff to make it so that there was just a bunch of friction in his cabinet.
I think what you're seeing is like even Trump said that one of the biggest mistakes he made in his first term was that he brought people around him who weren't loyal.
Yeah.
Right? And he brought people around him to placate the Republican Party, right?
Yeah.
So he was taking people like his vice president. He was that was not his. I'm sure that wasn't.
No,
his choice.
Pence. Yeah.
I'm sure that wasn't his choice,
Yeah.
right? But he did that to appease the Republicans and a lot of the people around him. Now he's picking people that he wants.
He believes in.
Yeah.
And he wants it that are aligned with his values,
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all are standing by him. Like J.D. Vance, what a beauty.
What a great guy.
Yeah, he's such a beauty, man. Just so smart too, right?
Yeah.
But I watched the thing where Trump, they're asking him about, so is he going to be the next president? Are you trying to get him? And he's like, I don't want to. He's like, maybe he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, you think that he's like, how come he just didn't say, yeah, he's the guy? It's like, because his term just started like a month ago.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to take away from everything he's going to be doing over the next term, the next 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So it's like he doesn't want to start talking about that yet.
Mhm.
I'm sure when that time comes, he's going to be like, yeah, he's the guy we're putting up.
And you don't set up the next guy who's going to be in charge until you're ready to go.
That's right.
Right? Because if you do that, then everybody's going to defer to that guy.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? You want your stuff done.
That's right. That's
Right?
it. So
when J.D. Vance comes in on his first day as president and somebody says, hey, who's going to replace you? He's not going to tell him.
Exactly. Yeah, it makes no sense.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Makes no sense at all.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to sneeze so bad, but it just won't come out, gang.
You need a second?
No, it feels like it's gone now.
Feels like it's gone?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was there though.
That's good. It's probably all the liberal tears. Causing
allergies.
allergy attack. Yeah.
Oh man.
We're allergic to all the fake pain.
Yeah, exactly. All the fake emotions.
Yeah, it's incredible to me all the stuff I'm seeing online. Just all these liberals just like throwing out all this weird fucking fake logic about why everything is horrible now. All this stuff I keep seeing millions of times. Like who cares if all these people are losing their lives and losing their homes and getting deported, and you didn't even get cheap eggs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just nonsense.
Wild. It's wild.
Yeah, I seen one recently that we were talking about just with Musk there too. That because he's a dual citizen, he's got citizenship in Canada here too. And there's they just recently did a what's it called? Why am I drawing a blank? Petition. They just did a petition. Got 35,000 signatures started by a Liberal MP to get his citizenship revoked here in Canada.
Yeah.
Because of what's going on in America.
But
saying that he's a traitor to Canada.
But 9 years ago, we took a terrorist who definitely killed American soldiers, and we gave him $10 million and welcomed him back to our country because, as Justin Trudeau said, a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But not anymore, apparently.
But not anymore.
Yeah,
apparently. Yeah, when it's Elon Musk, apparently, it's a different story.
Yeah, so the article I was reading was saying that as soon as the government's done being prorogued, which is supposed to be like March 24th or something like that this is going to be one of the things that they're putting on the table.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more important issues to be doing here at the moment, guys.
Well, even then, though, the first thing that's going to go on that table, I'm hoping, is an election.
It better be.
Because then they have to call, like, we're going to have Parliament in, I think, until either the Conservatives or the NDP. He's still saying, Jagmeet's saying he's gonna bring down the Liberals. So I sure hope.
I don't believe a word that guy says.
Yeah. But if that does
I
happen,
hope so.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Too. But if that does happen, they'll be back in for a few days, and then they'll shut down again for an election. So we're looking at another, 2 months after that.
I would be surprised if, by summertime we even have government going.
Yeah.
I would be. I don't think so, man. I think that this has been one of the best things for Justin Trudeau is this prorogue thing, man.
Yeah.
It's been for the Liberal Party anyways.
And I don't know what it is. We got to remember, we all have to keep in mind the effects of propaganda. There's so much propaganda out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody's kind of smelling some blood right now. With Mark Carney coming in, we're pretty sure that's who's going to end up getting it. And with him coming in and the left-wing liberal media in our country, which is supported financially by the liberal government, and the conservative government has said that they're pulling that funding.
Yeah.
They're fighting. They're fighting for their lives. And they're
100%.
putting out as much as they can out there.
And that's why you're not seeing Pierre.
Yeah. And that's why you're seeing so much pro-Canada. You know, Canada, we gotta, you know, we're all part of Canada. But, you know, 5 months ago, if you'd asked them about that, they would have said, we're not Canadians, we're global citizens.
That's right. And they certainly wouldn't have been all saying any positive things about Alberta.
No.
Yeah, and all of a sudden now it's Canadian energy. It's Canadian oil and gas.
The only person they have bad to talk about in Alberta is Danielle Smith.
Yeah, that's right.
And she's the only one who's actually trying to get something accomplished.
Yeah. She's a traitor! Traitor to Canada! Ah!
Unbelievable to me.
Yeah, I've heard so many people yelling about that, it just sickens me.
Yeah.
People have no idea.
She's doing the best she can for her people, right?
Yeah, exactly. If the country doesn't care about you for the last 10 years at least, you know, where they've been just like, you've been betrayed, neglected.
Mm.
How long do you stick around and keep being like, please like me again?
Yeah.
Please. It's just like if you have a friend who just constantly ignores you and berates you and tells you you're no good, do you keep hanging out with that friend? No. And you're like, no, I'm gonna do what's best for me, thanks.
Yeah.
You know? And then they're gonna come back, hey, how come you don't hang out with me anymore? Like, you know, you never call. Like, you know, because you're a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's as far as I'm concerned, that's what the rest of the country's been to Alberta. They've been horrible to Alberta for way too long.
Now, we've seen this coming for a while, right? I mean, you got just within the last few years, you know, pulling out of the what do you call it? Pension fund, Canadian pension plan. She's pulled out of that. One of the biggest contributors to the Canadian pension plan. She's pulled out. They're making their own Alberta pension plan. They fired the firearms officer from Ottawa, and they installed their own.
Yeah, installed their own. They're getting away from the federalist way of life,
they're getting
right?
away from that, right?
Yeah.
It's more. Alberta has seen it for the last few years. It's been. I remember this big sign that I see in Calgary. We live 20 minutes away from Calgary, or not Calgary, but from Alberta. And there's this big sign on some guy's farm out there on the way to Calgary, and it says, "More Alberta, less Ottawa." And that's where they're headed, right?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, like Jordan Peterson said, if with his video when he said, you know, if Canada's going to keep Alberta, they got to be willing to give Alberta what the U.S. is not going to, and I'm not seeing it. You know?
No, and especially not with another Liberal government in there.
No.
But I don't know, like I'm just not familiar enough to know what she's allowed to do and isn't allowed to do. You know?
Well, I think
I don't know if that's even a realistic thing where she can just separate on her own like that.
Well, I think back to when Quebec tried it, right? All they did was they had a referendum.
Yeah, they had to have a vote.
If they'd have won the referendum,
yeah,
then they would have seceded.
But that's what I mean. Like they're still going to have to do that in Alberta too, right? You know, it's like, and I don't think that they can get the vote strictly on Edmonton and Edmonton surrounding area alone. Well, that's half the population of the province is there, right? So it's like they got to have like 75%. You got to have like a big number. It's not like 50-50. Mm-hmm. It has to be like a big thing, like 75% or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just don't know. I if that happened, I wouldn't be.
That's an interesting thought. Like what are the percentage of conservative voters in Alberta?
Because I know that the large majority of like the city populations, even down in Calgary, man. Like Calgary is predominantly conservative.
Yeah.
There's a lot of liberals down there too, though, man. So when you're looking at the cities just in general are usually liberal.
It does seem that way.
But yeah, the majority of the province is conservative, I'm sure, but I don't know if it has a high enough percentage to.
So that's a good point there. It looks like the provincial Conservative Party took 54.88% of the popular vote.
Yeah.
So that's
pretty sure it has to be 75% or something like that for that. to go. So like I don't know. And there's already like I seen a sign. There was a sign that somebody put up a billboard in Bowden, Alberta, saying like petition Daniel Smith to become so we can become the 51st state.
Yeah.
And people were just lighting it up like in the comments about it or whatever too. Like they were like, we need to burn that sign to the ground. That guy should be arrested. Yeah. They were like, traitors. All of them were traitors. Like just the vile that people were spewing about that sign, right? Like and. I just wish it hadn't come to this nonsense, man. Let's just get a leader in there and get back to business. Like
we shouldn't have this. Once again, the liberal government has proven that the one thing it's good at is at splitting us apart.
Division.
Right, division.
Yeah, dividing us as Canadians.
We should not be divided over this. We should, everybody should have the right to their opinion. Their political opinion. Everybody should have the right to want what they want from government, and we should have the ability to sit down and have conversations peacefully about these things.
That's right. Not have it turn into a screaming match and have it like that. Because my biggest thing with people on the left in general is that if you talk about it too much with them, like, or even just bring it up and they find out you're on the other side and they'll unfriend you. They won't even talk to you anymore. Right? Yeah. I was telling Nate, I was talking to this guy here recently who was on the left. He said he was getting his haircut from the same guy for the last 14 years or whatever. Turned out he was on the other side of the aisle. He was on the right, and he said I had to quit going to the barber. I quit going using him as getting my haircut. I'm like, what are you talking about? Isn't that crazy? You were fine with this guy for 14 years, and all of a sudden you find out he believes some things differently than you, so you completely cut him out. It's like that just shows you like that's their mentality, right? Like anything different, they can't handle it. They cannot handle it, man. They're unwilling to be like compromised or believe that they're just. It's funny because they're all about bringing in all these people. Yeah. Do you think that everybody's going to agree with the way you think that are coming in here too? It's like it's kind of contradicting. It's like they can't handle anybody else thinking any differently than them. But at the same time, they're like, we need to bring in all these people. Like, I don't know. It's just asinine to me, man. There's billions of people on the planet. Lots of them are going to think differently than you. Yeah. So, how about we have a discussion like grown-ups instead of being like, no, I'm never going to get my hair cut by that guy again. I believe in things in the right. It's like, come on, man.
Well, they got people.
You're grown up.
People like dropping family members, dropping friends, dropping just. Anyone.
Completely eroding families because of this. They've divided people so much, right? Yeah. People are hating their own family members because they're the conservatives. Yeah. Because you don't see it the other way around usually. You know what I mean? People might feel sorry for liberals. Conservatives might feel sorry if somebody becomes a liberal. They're like, oh, poor guy. He'll come to his senses. Yeah. If he comes around, we're still going to chat with him. I'm going to be buddies with him. I know a bunch of liberals and I'm buddies with them. Yep. I'm just waiting for them to come to their senses. Yeah. But I'm certainly not going to be like, I'm never talking to you again. You kidding me? You fascist. Yeah. That's what they do. They'll just cut you out. You fascist. You racist.
That is unbelievable. So fascism is a type of government where everything is controlled by the government, right? Let's remember this. Right-wing governments tend to be small governments. They don't want to be in control of all your personal things. They want to be small, have a small amount of taxation, and they're about running the country. Right-wing governments tend to be about small government, and the person is allowed freedom. Yeah. Left-wing governments, you look at the size of there's a reason Justin Trudeau has added so much money to our debt. The reason is bureaucracy. Mm-hmm. We have bureaucracy now like we have never seen.
Yeah, we need a Doge here.
Yeah, we do need a Doge here. Yeah. We definitely do. Yeah. But that is literally what the Liberals are doing in Canada here is fascism.
Yeah, it is, exactly.
So Antifa out there, if you're hearing this, maybe turn around and look at the people who are giving you pointers and telling you what to do.
Or in your rallies. And how about you go look in the mirror?
Yeah.
Like, you are a fascist. And that's the most hilarious thing. That's like another thing where you're just like bizarro world in the Seinfeld. It's like, you are, though. Literally, your name is Antifa, anti-fascist. But you are fascists.
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable.
Look back at the stormtroopers in the beginning of the Nazi Party.
Oh my
they
God!
They had soldiers called brown shirts at first, and then they had the stormtroopers. They're literally like, that's what you are.
Yeah, it's so unbelievable. They don't even see it too, right?
Yeah.
It's like they're just, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's baffling.
Yeah, and isn't it funny how no right-wing parties in all of the world ever like agree with anything that Hitler did?
No, yeah, none of them.
Right?
You know, but there is, and like we said before, like that, they were left.
Yeah.
It wasn't. They were never right wing. They tried to make it seem like they were right wing extremists. Those Nazis, like they were in Germany.
A socialist party.
Yeah, socialist party isn't typically right wing.
Yeah.
So.
No, socialism is generally, well, it's my personal belief that socialism is just communism with some lipstick on it.
Yeah, that's right. Doctored up.
Right.
Yeah, putting lipstick on a pig.
Putting lipstick on a pig. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a nicer, friendlier version of communism. That's not really nicer or friendlier. It's just a little bit underneath a little bit more, but that is literally, yeah, that's just crazy to me. Like that's what we got.
Yeah, I would like we've talked about in the past too, but I want the government out of our lives. Yeah. Less government, more freedom. That's why I'm a conservative. I don't feel like the government should be, just like I was saying before, how down in the States you need to get a permit to paddle in a river. Like I think that's unbelievable. I don't want the government involved in everything. They shouldn't be the ones deciding that kind of stuff, people. Think about it. No. Like why do we need the government's permission to do all these things? We shouldn't.
I forget which leader it was, but I think it was an American president, and he said the government should stay out of the bedrooms. It might have been a Canadian prime minister too. Government should stay out of the bedrooms. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Right? And that's basically, our government right now that we have right now is in our bedrooms like crazy.
Yeah.
Anybody that's telling you about gender anything,
yeah,
that's in your bedroom.
Yeah, we're trying to enforce these kind of rules, drugs, all this shit. Trying to, like, it's like, just stay out. Less. I want less government telling me what to do. I want less, and like that goes right back to the big C when we were talking about it before. Mm-hmm. But it's like all that stuff, how they had so much oversight and like they were able to do so many things that I didn't realize. That's what I realized, like how bad our system is, that they were able to do so much so easily without us even, we had no say in our own rights, you know, at that time. So I don't want anything like that. I want less government, less oversight. They don't get to tell people what they need to do, what vaccinations they need to have, you know, access to our bank accounts, like crap like that, where they can just shut off people's money, like all that kind of stuff. It needs to go. Like I want to be ran by the province for one, two, not federally, because we're all differently. We don't all agree with down in Ottawa. So I don't want to be run like that. That's not the right way to be. I'm not down with that. You know, and there's some provinces that are very liberal, and that's just fine. They usually have liberal governments anyways, like the province should be run. Yeah. The federal government, as far as like uses for them, like my main thing is like they should be concerned about the military and our foreign relations. Yeah. You know, like when it comes to infrastructure. Yeah, and infrastructure. When it comes to the daily living of citizens, they don't need to be involved. No. You know? And they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. Even in schools, like schools should be provincially run. It shouldn't be any the federal government shouldn't have a hand in it, you know? And I think that's just one of our, and I don't think it's just in Canada. I think that's one of the reasons why Trump's in there now, he's putting his foot down in the States, because it has been run federally, a lot of the stuff too, right? They've tried. A lot of regulations and stuff that get put in, and he doesn't want it like that. And luckily for the States, the States have a lot more power than Canadian provinces have. And they were able to fight them off a lot better, the ones that were so inclined to do so, like Florida and Florida never shut down once for COVID. Yeah. Not once. Yeah. You know what's really funny? Bonnie Henry got asked about that. And as I actually watched this, she got asked about it, and the reporter asked her and said, how come the COVID statistics in Florida were so much less than ours, so many less dead people, so many less bad occurrences of it? And she said the reason it was so much better in Florida is because they never closed down or used masks, so people were able to get natural immunity. And they were so against it here. Right. So yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. But I mean, that's the thing, right? Florida was able, like here, they made national rules, right?
Yeah.
Not even rules. What do they call them? They're like a decree or
Yeah, basically
it was
emergency powers they put into
powers.
place, right?
Yeah.
That were basically like laws.
Yeah, people were allowed to be thrown in jails for non-existent laws.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It was insane. People playing hockey. People playing hockey. Kids playing hockey getting pulled apart by police officers in Calgary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, church gatherings outside even. They weren't allowed to have them happening. Yeah, it was a pretty wild time, man.
Yeah, it was wild. It was, unbelievable. And if you fought, they just destroyed you.
Yeah.
They just destroyed you.
Yeah, they didn't have much of a leg to stand on.
I know so many. Look at all the businesses that lost their.
Yeah, it went under.
Everything.
Yeah.
You know, I remember there was this sandwich place right after the shutdowns went down, and Justin Trudeau did a little tweet about how he was so sad that the sandwich place was going away. And it was, it'd been a place that he'd gone to his whole life. And somebody commented, well, you freaking did it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're the one who did it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in a strange time where people are just bow down to the government no matter what they do.
Yeah.
Oh, it's government. We need to be yes men to the government.
Yeah.
No, our job is to hold them accountable. Did we forget that as the population?
That is our job.
Like, our job isn't just to agree with everything that they tell us, you guys. Our job is to stand up and be like, hey, no. You're not doing this correctly. This is our money. What the hell are you doing? You don't get to decide for us. We the ones who decide for you.
Yeah.
And then you take that to the government. That's supposed to be what it is. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be them making all the decisions. They're supposed to be making them on our behalf.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, with our opinions taken into account.
Yeah.
For our best interest, not for their best interest. And that's what the whole world's come to. It's all about the government does whatever it wants and we're just like, okay, yes, master. Please do it more. Take away more of my rights. Take away more of my freedoms.
Yeah.
All in the nature of helping.
Yeah.
You know, it's for our own good.
It's for your own
good. They
good.
need to do it for your own good, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody who tells you anything is for your own good, they are feeding you a lot of bullshit.
That's right. The most dangerous words to live by is, we're from the government and we're here to help. Yeah.
Wasn't it? That quote is actually from Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan said that.
Yeah, I think they said like the 9 most dangerous words in the English language are, we're here from the government and we're here to help.
Yeah. Yeah, Ronald Reagan was such a great president. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said some good stuff.
He did. I watched, he was in Berkeley. I don't know. I just caught it was just a little short. I don't know why he was there, but he was talking to, apparently there was some other guests there, and he was talking to some of the professors and the dean or whatever, and they got into a big argument about, well, the kids were right to be protesting because of what was going on. And he basically got up and he walked out and he said these kids should grow up and figure out how to be, grown-ups or whatever, right? He's like, he was very cut and dry.
Yeah, exactly.
Very
practical.
Yeah,
pragmatic and stuff. He was. I watched a funny interview the other day with RFK and Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Where he was
talking pretty good.
He was talking about how he wants to take the Pfizer. They're looking to take the Pfizer vaccine off the market or whatever, right? And Bill Maher's like, "That's the one I got."
Yeah.
And he's like, so. Bill Maher brought up some stats. How there was. He's like, you're saying, I can't remember what the exact wording was, but it's like, there was the people who ended up having it had like a 30% higher infection rate and everything else. And he's like, are you saying that that's directly related? How do you know that that's just not the virus and has nothing to do with the vaccine? He says to RFK, and RFK's like, well, then I'd say at the very least the vaccine doesn't work, right, Bill? And the crowd just started laughing. It's like, yeah, well, no shit, Bill. Like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
You're not even thinking about that? Like,
That's
how
awesome.
are you still trying to go to bat for these freaking vaccines? Like, with stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Just insane.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I don't know, I'm happy that stuff for the most part is behind us. I'm sure there'll be another one at some point here, and then not too far down the line.
I'm sure they've learned how easily manipulated we
Exactly, man. Yeah, they know what they need to do to push us further next time.
Yeah. And we should all be scared of this, right? We should all understand. We should look back at what happened there. I mean, I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that almost everybody in the world actually agrees with us, no matter what they're willing to say.
Yeah.
Because if you look at how many people have taken the boosters after the ones that were required to keep their jobs,
Yeah.
it falls off to something like, I think the first couple were like 30%, and then after that it falls off to almost nothing. Like, there's nobody taking them.
No.
So nobody actually believed in it. They just did it because they had to.
Because they were told to. Yeah.
And I saw this interview with this lady. She was a historian. She was a World War II historian. She specialized in the history of what happened with the Jewish people, right? And the interviewer asked her and said, there are a lot of people who think that this is what's happening now is comparable to what happened in World War II. How do you feel about that? And she said, well, I've heard that myself, that a lot of people believe that there's a possibility that what we're seeing now is just like the beginning of stages of what happened to the Jews in World War II. And she said, and I would like to say that it is not like the beginning stages of what happened in World War II. We are way further into it than that.
Than the beginning stages.
Than the beginning stages.
Yeah.
This is way further than that.
Yeah, wow.
Right? What we're doing to people. I mean, our leaders yelling at us for refusing to get vaccinated, are
losing your jobs.
Losing your jobs. How many people lost their jobs?
Oh yeah, it had to be thousands.
I don't know.
Here in Canada.
Yeah.
Thousands for sure. Yeah, probably tens of thousands.
Yeah. And we should probably, so they don't pull us down, we should probably continue on to another subject.
Yeah.
But I would like to say that, just keep in mind the lessons that were learned in this past. We need to remember what's happened to us and the lessons that we've learned, lest history repeat itself.
Yeah, that's why it's good to know history, so it doesn't repeat itself.
Right. That's why history should never be canceled.
No.
Ever.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because even the bad stuff, you learn something from it.
Yeah, even the bad stuff, you learn something from it.
Yeah.
And every piece of history we lose is a piece of something that can help us in the future, help us to see that same thing when it happens again. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what else, Nathan, we could bring up? I don't think we want to talk about the old vid anymore.
Yeah, we should probably cut off that one.
We got cut off before in another one of our episodes.
Yeah,
right?
I don't want to have to re-edit this.
Yeah, take off a whole bunch of content. But yeah.
But just know that we stand with, and I believe I can speak for Donovan when I say this, is we stand for freedom and the ability to make your own medical decisions.
That's right, 100%. The government shouldn't be involved in that stuff at all. Yeah.
And when that does happen again, when something else like that happens again, and we have the next, right there, there's also like the possibility, like there's a possibility of a real pandemic, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, but watch for the signs yourself. I mean, if you look at when the Spanish flu came through in was it 1912?
Early
somewhere,
1900s.
right before or right during World War One, when the Spanish flu came through, it came through the Elk Valley here, and it killed something like 60 people. Right, there was a bunch of dead people from it very fast.
Yeah,
very fast. It came through, and it came through like a fire, and it was gone.
Yeah,
right.
Just believe what your eyes see too.
Yeah.
You don't need to believe what the news tells you.
Yeah, don't believe it.
Believe what your eyes. Your eyes aren't lying. So
yeah,
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. Believe what your eyes see, and don't necessarily believe what the news tells you, because the news is just propaganda for the people that are in power. Mm-hmm. Or the news has its own reasons for doing.
Yeah, it has its own agenda.
And
it's all propaganda.
We're all in this whirlwind now of being caught between powerful people's agendas, and we're being thrown around so much, and sometimes it's so dizzying that you don't know where to look.
Yeah. But
try to trust your own instincts. If something feels wrong, maybe it's wrong.
It's probably wrong.
Right?
It's probably wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you getting tired of winter yet, Nate?
Oh, I am getting tired of winter. I'm ready to move to Texas. You guys better take us over fast.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm also tired of winter, man. I'm looking forward to spring here. I'm gonna get out and start doing some trail cameraing again soon here. I got a couple that are still out there in the bush. They've been out there all winter. Nice. So I got to come wrangle some of them up.
The batteries stay good all winter?
They'll be good probably till, I'd say around this time. I bet you they're dying. Yeah. It depends how many pictures you get on them too. Yeah. But the cold definitely knocks them back a bit. For sure. We did have quite the cold snap there for like 3 weeks. It was below minus 20. But yeah, there'll be some sweet pictures on there usually over the course of the winter. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to getting those. And I'm going to set up a whole bunch to buy some new ones and stuff too. I'm going to start getting out there again, putting them all up. I'm going to be much more prepared for this upcoming hunting season.
Nice. Me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to really hit it hard. I would love to get an elk.
Yeah, dude.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put in for limited entry. What do you live
For
put
moose?
in for? For moose, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna put in for limited entry for moose, and then I don't think I'm gonna get like because you could put in for sheep too. I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I don't
But
know
what I
if
might
I'm
do is my buddy. I'm gonna see because I get started a new job. They don't get any holidays for a whole year, unless I work overtime.
Yeah.
And then I can bank those hours and use those as overtime. So if I do get holidays, I'm gonna try and go to back to Alberta, down Little Smoky. My buddy's uncle has a cabin on there. It's just the most majestic spot I've ever been in, dude. It's like
Nice.
picturesque, right on the side of a river. Got a cabin, and then you can walk out. He's got a big farm there, so he's got a bunch of different fields all planted and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of down in this little coulee where the cabin is. So we'll just get completely shittied in the cabin all night, have a good time, and then you can walk from the cabin. You can just walk. We can all go to different fields
Yeah.
and go hunt. The last time we went out there, I got an elk. My buddy Danny got an elk. We got a deer. We got 2 deer off the property. It wasn't on that same trip, but we got 2 elk in the one trip.
Nice.
And then we got 2 deer at a separate time when we were hunting there. And it's just an absolutely beautiful spot, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I'm really hoping that I can work a couple days OT to get back there because I guess we got
Nice.
permission again to go back out there this year. And that was probably my favorite hunting trip that I ever did was in that cabin that
Yeah.
time. I don't know, it was just amazing. And he's got like racks on the outside of the cabin from previous animals that have been shot around there, right?
Nice.
But it's amazing. Look, I've fished that river my whole life growing up. We'd always go on canoe trips down this river, just catch sick walleye and jack the whole time, right?
Yeah.
And I've always like, man, I wish I had a cabin on this freaking river. And then later when I grow up, find out that my buddies, like one of my best buddies, I was his MC at his wedding there a couple years ago. His uncle owns like a cabin literally right on the edge of the river.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful spot.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to getting out there, hopefully. But because that would be really cool if I can get an elk here.
Yeah.
And then go back to Alberta.
I was
and
just
get an elk
going
here.
to ask you that. Can you do that?
Yeah, I can get one in
Yeah.
Alberta too. So
Nice.
that would be sick because it's a really beauty spot for elk
Yeah.
too, man, and whitetails and everything. But
Yeah.
so I'd really like to get an elk here, get an elk there. I'm gonna put in for bear this year too here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I seen some really big black bears last year.
Yeah.
And I could have capped a couple of them.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna do that this year. And I would really like to try turkey hunting
Mm-hmm.
because there's lots of turkeys around here from what I hear. More so down south country I hear.
Yeah. We actually, I was out this hunting this last season with my sister, or sorry, my sister, with my wife's brother.
Yeah.
And we found some turkeys, but we both had our big guns with us.
Had the rifles.
Yeah, it's just too much, right?
Oh yeah, you need a
It's too
shotgun.
much.
Yeah, take off its head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he tried to get one with a rock.
They were that close.
They were that close. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
There was probably 7 or 8 of them.
Down Corbin.
That was kind of between Corbin and Coal Creek. We actually went all the way from Corbin all the way to Coal Creek.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't get through Coal Creek anymore. It used to be a used logging road, but now since the washout of Coal Creek.
And that like brings you out by Fernie or what?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna try taking that road one time. I never made it that far
Yeah,
down.
you can't quite get there anymore. There's trees down.
Oh, okay.
There's nobody going in there to open it up.
To cut it out.
There might be another road that goes through, but it got really rough and it got really muddy.
Yeah.
And we were in his brand new 35.
And no service, nothing
with no
back there.
service and just stock tires.
Yeah.
You know, if I'd have had my Chevy, I'd have probably been like, hell yeah, let's give it a
Yeah.
shot.
Let's push it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, man. We're definitely gonna have to get out on a hunting trip too, Nafy, and a
For
camping
sure.
trip, 100%
Yeah.
too. But I want to like this next upcoming year is gonna be a super successful year. I got really high hopes for this upcoming year, man. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
me too.
putting in a lot of time, like camping beforehand,
Yeah.
going out scouting areas and stuff for like all summer and stuff with cameras and just finding new areas too. Because I want to go to spots where there's not as many people. Last year I was just inundated with people. It's my first year hunting down here. Really, I know some good buddies who gave me some great tips for some spots. I'm hoping that me and Wes can go out to his spots down in South Country there. Maybe he can bring me out again. Because there's kind of a cardinal rule too when you if somebody shows you their hunting spots, you don't go hunt those spots alone.
No.
That's like
You go with them.
yeah, that's they were nice enough to show you those spots, so I'm not going to go out there without Wes, right? Or at least not without Wes's permission to go and set up cameras and stuff.
For sure.
Like I'll ask him, I think it's cool if I go set up some cameras out in that area or whatever. But yeah, I would never just go back out there and start going on there on my own.
I've never actually hunted the South Country. I'd like to go.
It was pretty beauty, dude.
Yeah.
It was really beauty. I had a pretty crazy time though. Like I was going to camp
I
out there by
do know
myself.
the area pretty good though, so if you don't want to show me West's spots, we could just go out there and I'll just pick a spot.
Find some new spots, yeah. That'd be cool too.
There's
a lot of spaces that are logged out there too, and that's the part. The reason why I like going with Wes, because he's lived around this area too, and he knows where we're allowed to hunt. I'm still kind of new to the area. I don't like going just purely by maps on paper. Yeah. And I'm not a big tech guy, so I don't like you. I know your phones you can use for all kinds of shit, and there's some apps you can buy. I'm tired of buying an app for everything. Yeah. Tired of paying money for every single thing that you want to look up. You know, it's like I just don't want to do it anymore. So. But yeah, I'm gonna go set up cameras out there in the South Country. I'm gonna set up cameras down here. I'm hoping to have like at least 10, 12 cameras set up next year, and do a lot of scouting into some cool backcountry spots. So like when the opening days start, that's when I'm gonna be getting my elk. I'm not gonna have to fight to get an elk all because I didn't start hunting last year till after basically. I missed the best part of elk season. Yeah. You know, so it was like I already missed the best chance to get an elk by the time I actually went and bought my tags. So next year's not going to be like that. I'm going to be on top of it, and we'll go out for a hunt, Nate, and we'll definitely go do some camping too. Like maybe at the very beginning of hunting season. That'd be cool. Even if it's just for like one of my sets of 4 days off or whatever. Yeah. We'll go out and see what we can wrangle up. Yeah. Yeah, and we should do some fishing too, Nate. Do you ever eat fish?
That. Oh yeah, I love fish.
Yeah, because I haven't. I don't know what you can all keep out of the rivers here. If you can keep the cutthroats or not, I need to look into it. Yeah, I know you can't keep the bull trout, but there's some massive bull trout down here.
You can't keep bull trout out of here?
No, that's from what I've heard. You can't keep any bull trout down in Alberta.
That makes me sad.
Yeah, and I've heard you can't keep them down here either.
That makes me sad.
Yeah, because bull trout are huge. There's some giants down here, world-renowned bull trout here in the Elk River, and I've only caught cutthroats so far. My boy, he's caught a bunch of bull trout and stuff. Yeah, so he knows some pretty cool spots. But yeah, we got to get out this year, man, and do a lot of that stuff, Nate. I would like to get out and take advantage of this summer a little bit more for fishing wise and camping wise too. And I'm going to try getting the fam out and stuff too.
Last time I went fishing, I really got into fly fishing.
Fly fishing is awesome, man.
You know, it's the funniest thing. I had a rod since I was a kid, right? Yeah. Since I was like 12 years old, and my dad took me out fly fishing. And my dad was really good fly fisherman. Like he could make that thing sing. Yeah. It was beautiful. I mean, guides in the area used to say that my dad was the best fly fisher.
Oh yeah.
Right? So he tried to teach me how to fly fish, and I just fucking treated that thing like it was a stick with a piece of string on it. Yeah. You know, it was horrible. The only thing I ever caught was my ear.
Oh no.
Right? But then I was at my dad's place and. My fly rod was there, and I thought, I'm going to pick this up and just see. Yeah. The maturity really helped. We took it out, and I realized you got to just go slow down. You gotta get into the feel of it. Right?
That's right, man.
And then you get that. Yeah. And you can feel it.
Wait until it goes back, and then.
Yeah.
Oh man, fly fishing's so sick.
It is it was some of the best fishing I've ever done.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. Yeah, it's a different way of fishing too, right? It's not just a normal spin cast, it's like you're a lot more technique to it. Mm-hmm. And one of the hardest parts I always found with fishing was just for me, because lots of times, for me, it's like you don't get to see, depending on what kind of fly you're using. If you're top water, you can see them come out and splash and grab your fly. But sometimes if your fly's underneath the water, you can't even see that they're biting the hook, right? Yeah. It's like all of a sudden, and you go do a cast, and there's like one on there, but it's like. You get the polarized lenses and stuff where you can see in the water really good. Yeah. And you can really see the fly floating down, man. It's really cool, dude. Yeah. Yeah. And then you're just watching the fly go down, watching it hit underneath the water. And then just the fight on a fly rod is incredible. Yeah. Yeah. It feels so much better, dude. It's like, because it's there's so much flex to the fly rods and stuff. There's so much play to them. So you can really feel every little shake of the head and everything. My dad was a big fly fisherman growing up too. He used to tie his own flies and stuff, right? Nice. Yeah. I remember one time, a little sidebar, we got a black lab when I was a kid. We went to Costco or something in Grand Prairie and came back. My dog Duke got into my dad's fly fishing stuff. We come home, he's got like hooks hanging out of his mouth. He was just like chewing on them, had like hooks in his mouth. Oh man. Yeah, just like loving it though. Yeah. Didn't even care. My dad just lost his shit, right? Like he didn't give a rat's ass. Oh man. And I remember telling my teacher about it right afterwards, telling her the story, and she's like, "Well, maybe he just needed a source of iron." in his diet. I'm just like thinking, I was like 8. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It was man, fly fishing's a great time. But I really want to get and catch a big bull trout in the river here this year.
Yeah.
So that's going to be one of my goals.
We'll have to find a river that you can. I'm surprised that you can't get bull trout out here, but I haven't fished this river in a long time.
You can get bull trout. You just can't keep them.
keep 'em.
I don't think you can keep bull trout anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're like super endangered.
We used to eat bull trout all the time. When I was a
Yeah,
kid.
bull trout was really good. Sidebar: I've tried bull trout. I know they're illegal. Somebody had one and it died. I'm not going to say who. One of my buddies caught one and it died. He got hooked really bad and it died.
This poor thing died.
Yeah, and he didn't want to let it go.
Like natural death.
Natural death, you know.
Yeah.
It was like it wasn't. He didn't mean to kill it.
Yeah.
It got hooked really bad and died. So he cooked it up, and I tried a bite of it. It was really good. It was like white meat fish. It's kind of like walleye, kind of like it like burger halibut.
Yeah.
Kind of like that kind of meat. It was really good. But yeah, it's you can't kill them or you can't keep them in most areas. You might maybe be able to in some areas. I'll have to look that up.
But lake trout's not the same though, right? No. Okay, lake trout.
Yeah, lake trout you can keep.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, there's a lot of lakes and rivers around here. We'll definitely be able to find some spots where we can keep. But you know what's really cool, Nate? Going out, we could bring some limited food with us, but just try to go on a couple-day adventure and try to catch what we eat. You know, catch food and we gotta eat it. You know, like live off what we can actually catch.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty slick.
There's me and Donovan at the grocery store.
Yeah, yeah, pulling in some fillets. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, or we come back hungry. It is what it is.
Or we come back hungry.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We lose a couple pounds.
That's right. No, not a big deal. But yeah, we'll get into. And did you decide if you're gonna get buy that bow?
Sorry, what?
You said you might buy a bow.
Yes, yeah. I'm still thinking about
Pondering it over.
Yeah, I gotta look at my finances a little bit and try and figure it out. But
they're expensive.
I want to.
Yeah, bows are expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you can get one like that has the sights already on it, it has everything already on it, man, you're set up. Because that's one of the things too. It's a little bit hard to get your bow all sighted in and everything like that.
Yeah.
But if you can get one like that from a good guy who knows that he shots some animals.
I'd have to get a reset for myself though, right?
No, not sighted. No, the sights will be what it is.
But like the compound.
The draw.
The draw. Yeah.
I think that it might be a little bit long for you. You'd have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's close, because who knows, it might be a little bit short on him too, on West, but you have to see what it is. Yeah, if it's too long, like if you're holding it like way back here, then like you want to kind of be
right there.
Yeah, right, holding it kind of right by your lip.
Yeah,
like
you don't want it to go past your face.
No, you don't want it to go past your face. Exactly. So it's way back here.
Guys, if it's fucking ears.
Yeah, and it's just you're not gonna be accurate, right?
Yeah.
So some people are like they got to lean their head forward though.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be back here.
Yeah.
And it'll fit you perfect. You never know.
Gotcha. It's possible.
Because mine, I got to lean a little forward on mine. Because the previous owner of mine, he had a little bit shorter arms than me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make that big of a difference. Usually, actually, all I do is I shorten up this arm a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it kind of just equals it out.
Interesting.
But hey, I'll have to give it a try, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
If you want to.
I've never tried bow hunting.
It's a lot of fun, man. Yeah. You just got to watch your forearm, not getting hit with the string. Remember when I went out with my buddy Brandon back in the day?
Yeah.
I got him into hunting, and he brought him out. He bought a bow, went out, and I was telling him, you got to watch your forearm. He had these huge forearms. He was just a giant dude, and he got hit with the string going through, and he's like, hurt him.
Yeah.
The next day, dude, his whole forearm was black.
Oh.
Like it's a serious deal, bruise if it hits you, man. That string,
for
right?
Sure.
Yeah. So got to watch out for that. Yeah. When you got those fucking pythons on you, Nate, so you're gonna have to watch out.
Yeah.
But yeah. Worst case scenario too, man. Going into the spring here and shit, we'll go fire off the guns, get everything all sighted in and everything too, and
do a quick check to make sure they haven't been made illegal yet, so we can carry it.
Yeah, that too. Unfortunately,
we might be hunting with 22.
Yeah, going out with slingshots.
Yeah,
you're going. Yeah, that's what it's gonna go to. Yeah, or alls we'll be able to do is do bow and arrow. I was talking to a guy at my new work there. He just bought. He was buying a recurve.
Yeah.
Bow. I got a buddy back in Fox and he hunts like strictly recurve just about now, man, which is like one of the coolest ways to hunt, dude.
It seems pretty crazy.
There's no sights on them, right? They're like the old ones are the long bow. You can still get those too. And then recurve is kind of like a little bit newer than that, right? But you're still doing it all sight off the arrow. Yeah. You're looking down the arrow. You don't actually have sights to line it up. And it's kind of all like guesswork.
I used to have I had a recurve when I was a kid. It was just a long black bow.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it always seemed to me like it just was. I mean, I was a kid too.
Yeah.
But it always just seemed like it wasn't enough power to actually kill anything.
Yeah, well, if you're pushing it at 20, 30 yards, it's
Yeah.
like that's a long shot for
Yeah.
a recurve. You got to get close. So like he does a lot of tree stand hunting. Usually gets deer with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a real accomplishment too. You get something with a recurve, man. That's like
Yeah.
a feather in your cap, dude.
Well, that's like old school. Like this is how this.
Yeah.
Our great grandfathers.
That's right,
did,
man.
right?
Yeah.
Like it just about like you got to cut it up with a fucking knife made out of stone.
Yeah, stone tool. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I respect anybody who goes out and does. I love seeing guys go and do things like the old way of doing things.
Well, me too, man. I love that, dude.
I feel like it's such a show of respect for what come before us.
Yeah, and it's like shows the difficulty of it, dude.
Yeah.
It's nothing easy, you know. That people have to do that every day to live.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like, hey, I'm gonna go try this out hunting. If I get a deer, great. If not, I'll go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
You know, they needed that food.
Yeah, like back in the day, if you didn't get something, you didn't eat, right?
And usually you were hunting for your whole tribe or your whole clan, right? So.
Yeah, even if you get back into like the great days of expansion within our country, like the Wild West, if you didn't get anything, your family didn't eat.
Well, that's right, man.
You know?
Yeah, there was no grocery store to go to all the time.
Store.
That's right. Yeah, people still work together and hunting and stuff too.
Yeah.
That's why like we really do need to protect our animals and do good counts of like what we're allowed to give out for tags and stuff too. Because how expensive food. I think that a big reason why I seen so many people out hunting last year was because of the price of food.
Yeah.
I think that there was a lot of new people going out hunting because it was crazy last year. That's why this year, man, I want to get back into some more remote spots where there's not going to be as many people.
That would be cool.
Yeah, we might got to do a little bit of hiking, Navy.
That's okay.
Hike up over a mountain or two.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, get into a spot that's actually, where you're not going to see anybody. And then hopefully get something. And then we got to pack it out of there. Yeah, hiking in ain't really the problem. It's if you get something, then you got to hike out.
Getting back out.
Yeah, when you got 500 pounds of meat on your back.
Yeah.
But at least it makes you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
You got the meat. Just got to watch out for the grizzly bears.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, because there's quite a few of them around.
I remember my dad always used to hunt in really hard spots.
Yeah.
And we always walked.
Mm-hmm.
There was no. I don't remember ever truck hunting with him.
Yeah, nice, man.
And it was great. We get into some rough places. I mean, there are some spots we'd climb a mountain where, 4 or 5 hours out and up a mountain and over a couple draws and yeah, I mean, you got something. It was a long ways out.
Oh yeah, I always get next corner syndrome.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, this looks so nice. Let's see what's around the next corner.
Yeah.
And then we'll stop and it's like, oh, it looks real nice up there. Let's go check out around the next corner.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're 15 clicks into the back country. You're like, holy shit, I got to turn around at some point. But yeah, I always make that. That always happens to me, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that should be one of our priorities this year, Nate. We'll get out for a few trips together, get some film too, and we could even do one of our podcasts while we're out there.
Oh, for sure.
That'd be really cool. Do it right around camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah. Do like a fireside.
Yeah, exactly.
Fireside podcast.
Yeah, man.
That would be pretty sick.
I think that'd be slick.
Yeah.
And who knows if we end up getting the what was that guy's name that we were talking about getting on there who ran for he just ran for government. He ran for the premier.
Was it?
Wes was just talking about it with
us
there the other.
Looks. No.
Oh, I can't remember now. But yeah, there's hopefully get some guests on when we're out there too.
Yeah.
We'll bring some people with us who knows have some knowledge and stuff about the outdoors because I'm kind of interested to see how they work out the tag systems and stuff and how accurate they really think it is.
Yeah.
For the when they do their counts of the animals and stuff because I know they fly helicopters around and stuff looking trying to count animals but there's no way you're counting all the animals.
No,
so like I want to know how they what kind of estimates they're using and how do they. Because I'll tell you what, last year, man, I didn't see a whole lot of animals. It was like I put on a lot of miles and I seen some animals, but nowhere near as many as I thought I would see. So I'd like to kind of see how they put it together. But we still have we're still allowed to use firearms, Navy. Yeah. Because who knows? If the Liberals get in again,
we're done.
I don't think we will be having guns anymore, man. It was funny when I was talking about that. I think I talked about this on a previous podcast, but talking about it with somebody that I know had mentioned, he was like, I don't think that they're making all these guns illegal, right? Just like, just semi-automatics. Like literally the next day they made a whole bunch more guns illegal, and I was like trying to explain to him, I was like, yeah, it starts here, and then they just start taking away more and more. And he's like, I don't think so. Literally the next day, they took away like another whatever 1,500 guns, and I was like, see what I told you?
I mean, they took away. Those of you who know or who are into bird hunting will understand this. They took away long shotguns with a choke.
Yeah.
Shotguns over a certain length with a choke.
Yeah.
That is literally a gun that is only good for bird hunting.
Yeah, strictly for bird hunting.
And they took them away. And they got called on it. And they're like, oh, maybe we made a mistake. But they didn't make them legal again.
No.
You still cannot get a shotgun over a certain length with a choke.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and yeah, they made the guns that they made illegal were like there's no rhyme or reason to them.
Yeah.
And you could tell that it was people who had no idea about guns
Mm-hmm.
who made these rules, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just really hoping that we get old Pierre in here and he can. I don't know if he will, but
Like it's really down to the point where something's got to give, and if it doesn't, this
we're going.
country's done.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
They're going down to Texas.
Yeah.
Because you know what's cool about Texas? I can go down there and shoot a freaking zebra if I want to, because they got all kinds of freaking.
They have zebras.
Dude, they got like farms, right? Like
Yeah.
that people have like exotic animals, and you can
Yeah.
just go hunt all kinds of animals, right?
Yeah.
Like Ted Nugent, he has a farm down there, and he's got all kinds of African animals and stuff
Nice.
on his stuff. And he said he hunts every single day.
Nice.
And he goes shoots an animal every day, eats fresh meat every single day.
Ted Nugent, what a character.
Yeah, what a character, man. He's a wildcat, man,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, but really cool that they have that option down there, right? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of these private farms down in Texas that you can go and you can hunt like crazy wild animals, alpacas and all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
from that are down like in Africa.
It's wild.
Yeah, and you can go hunt them down in Texas. So, but yeah, and they're allowed. They got way stronger gun rights than we do down here.
Oh,
or we do up here.
Huge.
So that's really what I want to, because I'm quite concerned that we're not going to be able to defend ourselves here in the next few years.
I'm quite concerned that we've either reached a tipping point where we're going to go back into conservative beliefs,
Yeah.
or we're going to flip back and go just
Wildcat liberal.
Wildcat liberal.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's if we go wildcat liberal, this country's
Doomed.
It's doomed.
I don't like using the word doomed, but we're doomed.
It can't. I mean, with the amount of debt they're in, if we get a liberal government spends, they print money. That's what they do. Eventually, they'll be bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
The people will be. We'll be in We could end up being in North Korea. Dictator telling everybody what to do, and everybody blocked off.
All for their own good.
All for their own good.
That's how they do it. They scare you to the point that, well, actually, how it is that it'll be the citizens begging them to take their rights away. That's how it goes. Yeah. So, and all for their own safety, under the guise of safety, they'll create some enemy, whether it's a school shooting down in the States that they need to take away our guns here in Canada, which happens every single time there's a shooting down there. So stop it, guys.
Yeah, please.
And we're losing all of our guns because of you bastards down there. Okay? We love you, but stop the shooting.
We love you, but stop it.
Yeah, stop the shooting down there. Okay?
Stop the shooting.
Yeah, we don't want that shit.
Yeah.
We've been pretty. I don't know if I'm the only one who noticed that, but that is literally what happens.
Yeah.
Like every
single time.
Yeah, every time there's
every
a shooting
single
down there,
there's a shooting down there.
So it's like
it's almost like they're waiting for it.
Yeah.
At this point, they got the next round of guns that they're ready, and they're like, somebody in America shoot somebody.
Yeah. We need to take away more Canadian guns.
We need to take away more Canadian guns.
Ukraine needs more guns.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Sending all of our weaponry over there.
Our 22s.
Yeah, our 22s. Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
They're going to go shoot some cans. And I've watched some crazy drone footage from that Ukraine war.
Some wild stuff, man. Drones are crazy.
Dude, I was watching this one where they're flying them into a bunker.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are in a bunker, hanging out, talking, and they can just hear like, wee, sounds like a mosquito ripping by. They're like, oh no, it's coming. And it comes in from the other side of the bunker. They just start running, and boom, it just blows up like right behind them in the bunker. It's like this guy's just threaded the needle right through the door of the freaking bunker, right? Came in when there was an exploding drone or whatever.
Yeah.
You remember watching, did you ever watch that Gerard Butler movie? There was like Olympus Has Fallen, and then where he was like a Secret Service agent protecting the president with like Morgan Freeman, and there was Aaron Eckhart was there, or whatever. So there was the most recent one he did was like Angel Has Fallen, and that was him, and he got framed or whatever. But at the very beginning That's what they did. Like there was a whole bunch of freaking drones that come and they like attack and try to kill the president or whatever with all these drones, right? And there's like fucking a couple hundred drones, and it's like I was thinking back then that movie came out like probably like at this point, man, like 8 or 9 years ago already. But I was like, man, that is insane. I'm surprised that that's not happening. Then all of a sudden the war happens in Ukraine. It's like, oh my God, that's what's happening. And that is having some serious effect.
Yeah.
Where it's like they can't even do anything. There's Russian troops trying to shoot him and they can't even hit him, right? These things are just zooming around right into their freaking, right into their bunkers and shit. And then you know that there's just some little kid on the other end of that like,
I watched this video of this guy getting chased by this drone, and he was a Russian soldier. He ran out of rounds. He dropped his gun.
Yeah.
He was around a tank. Nobody else there. He's the last one. Yeah. And he's like running around this tank, climbing over it, and the drone was just following him.
Oh my God.
Just playing with him.
Yeah, toying with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like nothing you could do. These things just follow you around, right? Like, I don't know. Crazy way of warfare. Warfare has changed so much, man. It's changed
crazy.
Yeah, and really like, those drones are like cheap.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like it doesn't take much, man.
You know, that makes you think like we think that Canada's too big of a country to ever be taken over. But if you got a country that's got a couple fucking million drones, like what are the chances now?
Yeah, exactly.
It changes things.
Change huge.
So
free speech for everybody.
Free speech for everybody.
Yeah.
What's wrong with free speech for everybody?
Yeah, the only people that are worried about free speech are
people who don't want you to say things.
Yeah, pretty much, man. It's like, you know, they're all for free speech when it comes to the stuff they want to say.
Yeah.
You know, but like the free speech that needs to be protected is the dangerous stuff, is the bad stuff that you don't agree with too. Because that's how you get to the truth about some things. You're not gonna be saying the truth. You're not gonna know, and then all of a sudden, if you can't talk about it, then you're just getting propaganda.
Yeah. Every time a country or a government tells you that they're going to make it against the law to talk about something, right? Something's bad is happening.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
You should always be able to talk about something, but you should. I mean, I just had this conversation with a girl at work, and she's. I was talking about. You know, the way some liberals are, and she said, "Well, you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion," and I said, "That's mostly true." I said, "But everybody is not intrinsically entitled to their opinion." She's like, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, you know, if somebody is of the opinion that it should be okay for a 40-year-old man to have sex with a 7-year-old child, then that is not an opinion that I believe that you should be allowed to have."
That's right. Yeah.
Right? If somebody believes that it is perfectly okay to go and kill people, for no reason,
I don't agree.
That's not an opinion that somebody should be like. We should, at some point, we should.
There's a limit to it.
We should regulate it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if somebody goes, "I believe it's perfectly okay to go out and kill people," we should be like, "You need to go to a hospital."
That's right. Yeah, because not everything that everybody believes is right.
Is moral.
Yeah, it's moral. Right? So it's like, there's got to be there's certain limits on it.
But everybody's political opinion, people should be allowed to speak anything they want about a political opinion or about opinions about things that I've always said that everything is okay from my beliefs on how it works, because I'm pro free speech, right?
Yeah.
I'm crazy, and I believe that everything is okay until somebody gets hurt without their permission. Right? I'm not talking about things. I'm talking about doing things. Right?
Yeah.
Because we just need to stay out of people's lives. Right?
Yeah.
We just need to let people do what they're going to do, and which might sound weird with all the things that we've talked about. Because I'm a strong believer that, you know, the problem comes with, you know, if you want to be transgender, be transgender. I'm not going to fight you on it. I'm not going to call you out in the middle of the street. I'm not going to bully you. In fact, if I saw some transgender person getting beaten up by a group of kids, I'd probably step in and help them, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I'd be like, you know, this is whatever. But the problem stems from them coming back and saying, now you have to use my
your pronouns and shit.
You have to.
And we're going to change the definition of a biological. Like, that's where the problem.
That's where the problem is, right?
Yeah.
I don't have anything against these people. I say, go out and live your life the way you want to live. Whatever makes you happy, go out and do it, as long as nobody gets hurt without their permission.
And you're not forcing it on children.
Yeah, and you're not forcing it on children. That's the other thing, right? And that's the other big problem, is they're forcing it on children.
Yeah, the biggest problem in my mind.
That's huge. Yeah. The second that you're throwing transgender people into, like, you don't see transgenders going into old folks' homes to read books.
No,
Right?
exactly, because they're set in their ways.
Yeah. And they're going to die soon anyways.
That's
They're
right.
trying to indoctrinate the children.
That's right, 100%.
And that's crazy. You don't see nothing sexual should ever be pushed on children.
No,
I don't
drives me nuts.
I don't even understand how this is an argument.
I know that you need to have.
Right?
I know.
Right?
It's nuts, man.
I shouldn't have to defend this.
Yeah, it should not have to at all. It should be common sense.
Yep.
Yeah. Our camera shut down there at our 2 hour mark there. We had to do a little reset. I was just talking about beforehand there about the drones and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I can guarantee you that China's got millions of drones ready to rock.
Oh,
because that's going to be like the next wave of warfare, man. It's not going to be like when they were in Afghanistan, right? They had the drones, but they were like the aerial big drones,
like
shooting rockets and
yeah,
everything.
Yeah.
Now they're going to be like these tiny little ones that they're flying at the Super Bowl and shit.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like having grenades on them. They're going to be explosive, right? And they're just going to be flying them into targets left and right. That's going to completely change the whole dynamic of warfare, man. It's going to be totally different.
Huge.
And that's scary, man, for what that means. Like, you could take over a country just with drones, man.
You know, it's weird because you're actually seeing me live right this moment, realizing that the nature of warfare has completely changed.
Yeah.
Right?
It has,
because
man.
I've never put this much thought into how much of it. Like, you see the drones, you're like, oh wow, that's crazy. But like, you get 1 million of them.
Yeah.
Like what does that do? It used to be that whoever had the best air power won, right? But you know, what if you put them, you get 1,000 drones and stick them on an aircraft carrier? It doesn't matter.
No.
That aircraft carrier's done.
Oh, it's done. Yeah, exactly,
Right?
man. And they can make pretty, and explosives are getting more explosive all the time.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's just going to be like a firecracker going off and that freaking drone crashes in, right?
Yeah.
They're pretty huge explosions now too. So it's like, imagine sending those just into buildings.
Yeah.
You know, you could take down buildings, man. You could take down, send them into a city, send them into, say if there's a front line where you got, say they coming into a country, it doesn't have to be just on the front line.
Yeah.
You could send them way back. You know what I mean? They can go into frickin' or towns on the other side of the country.
Mm-hmm.
They can go anywhere in the country. It doesn't need to be.
You could drop drone bombs.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Like literally a bomb filled with like 1,000 drones.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Just go out and do what you will.
Exactly, man. That's the thing. You can control them from anywhere. You can fly them from anywhere. So it's like they can go deep into a country and you can just be hitting towns, homestead oil refineries, all that kind of shit.
Like, that is crazy.
You could cripple a country. You don't need to be on foot, be in there. Like, okay, now we need to get our tanks to go, and we're gonna go down Highway 43, and we're gonna go this way. It's like, no, they're just gonna be flying the shit way ahead, wrecking the infrastructure of the country, so that they can't keep up. They can't produce oil. They can't fuel their vehicles. They can't do this and that. It's like.
And you're literally talking about the country in the world with the greatest capacity to build small electronic things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you telling me that China, because I'm looking at how the Russia thing's going, right? Like, that's how basically Ukraine's been able to hold them off, is by those drones.
Yeah.
You telling me China's not looking at that, being like, okay.
Let's open up some factories.
Yeah, let's open up strictly drone factories. They pay people no money.
Yeah,
they got slave labor going on over there, and they're just pumping out drones by the thousands every day.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that's like one of their top priorities after looking at all this. That and cyber warfare, right?
Yeah.
Like,
cyber warfare is huge.
Crippling economies and stuff just by that. But yeah, I guarantee you that if there ever is a world war, you're gonna see drones be playing an enormous part in that.
Yeah. Do you remember that movie Red Dawn?
Oh yeah.
Like, imagine if now replace all those soldiers coming in to take over
drones.
with drones.
Exactly. Terrifying.
Right? You don't even need I'm sorry, this is crazy to me, like I said, because you're seeing me change my opinion on tactical warfare right now. It used to be that I believed that in order to take over a country, to beat a country like America, you needed to get soldiers on the ground.
Yeah.
You don't.
No, you don't anymore.
It's done.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to anymore, man. You could freaking do it purely with drones. Then you could have people come in.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Clean up the mess.
Yeah, you could just have all drones first, man. Just wave after wave of drones going through, exploding shit all over the country, wrecking highways, bridges, just taking everything out just with drones, man.
Just destroy a country. Just destroy them.
Destroy a country purely with drones.
Like,
and there's just people at home wielding them like playing a computer game.
Yeah. And we used to think it was all about, like, nukes were going to be the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, with nukes, it was like if we shoot them, they'll shoot us, and that's it.
Yeah.
But if a country was to get drones to another country first, it's done.
Well, think about it. We're flying in the States. They can control like the big drones that would fire like huge rockets and stuff that they're using during like the Afghanistan war and stuff.
Yeah.
They're flying them from over here.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they got like a 3 kilometer radius where they got to be within the drone where they can fly them.
Yeah.
You know, so I guarantee you they've worked out how to fly these little drones from all the way across the world too.
Yeah.
You know, or we can pilot them right now. We can be in Kiev, fire up some drones. You know, and then just controlling them from right here.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that's how it's going to be. Yeah. Right now in you know Bangladesh, and yeah, you could be flying, bringing hundreds of drones, flying them into buildings all over the place, and you're over here.
Like imagine like what's the bomber that the
Stealth bomber?
Yeah, even that. Like you can't even see that coming.
No.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
You don't even see that coming. You could fly it out to the middle of the country and just boom, open up the bomb bay doors and just drop drones.
Well, and you're not gonna have to. You're not gonna be able to see the drones either. Is the thing.
No.
Because they're gonna look like birds coming in, just smaller. They're not even. They're not
you're
gonna be picked up on radar or nothing.
Unbelievable.
You know, it's like all of a sudden shit's just exploding around you.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even know.
Just get out there and start homesteading and just build your own little property and put a place you can hide from drones.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, a little like tornado shelter. It's gonna be a drone shelter.
Yeah. Like even no matter what guns you have, you're not stopping them.
No. You have some buckshot. You might shoot 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, but they'll get you.
Oh, they're gonna get you. Think about like destroyer aircraft carriers, right? When they got incoming missiles.
Yeah.
And they're shooting those crazy like 1,000 rounds a frickin' minute or whatever. Like you know when they're shooting at the rockets. Sometimes they still miss.
Yeah.
Those shoot at rockets. Like they're quite a bit bigger than drones.
Mm-hmm.
Think about when you got a friggin' 1,000 drones coming in at you. I know those things aren't going to be able to keep up.
And
either.
they're not on radar.
No, exactly. So they're just going to be firing off into the blue. Like
you don't even know they're coming till you hear the bzzz.
That's right, man.
And
yeah.
they're there.
And they're there. Exactly. Yeah, pretty crazy situation to think about.
Yeah.
That's the future of warfare, I think, man. It's going to be the nearest future. Drones, man. Just unmanned, tiny little drones. Yeah, not big ones that Obama used, but tiny little fist-sized drones that are just gonna explode. Yeah.
It's like those little drones that you see people flying around here, except they're warfarized.
Yeah. Well, look at the patterns they can make them fly. Look at that at the Super Bowl and shit that they do, right? With those, they're incredible. The things they can do. I was watching this drone show. It was like on an American Idol thing where they sang like a whole tune about it or whatever, but it was like a kid at the beginning is like playing with it's like a dad playing with his kid outside. It looks like it. Mm-hmm. They're like they program these things to look like they all have lights shine different ways, so it's like looks like a dad with this kid exactly, right? They're like spinning around. There's a tree standing over here.
Yeah.
They're like and then he's pushing his daughter on the swing, and then his daughter ends up dying, and it's like super sad, right? And it's like then he's like at the grave or whatever too, and it's just like a sad thing, but it's like. It all looks so, and like the daughter flies away as a butterfly afterwards and stuff, and it's like just like hits you emotionally. Even it's like these drones are giving me emotions, but it's like how real they make them look, man. It's incredible, right? Like so, imagine the things they could do with them. Like they don't even have to be actually flying them. They could look at a blueprint of a town, of a city, and be like, okay, we're going to pre-program all these drones. Here's where this one's going to go. Here's where that one's going to go. Program them all, and then they just take off and go.
Yeah.
You don't even have to worry about them. You don't have to be there controlling them even. You know? You just set a pattern on them and they go do their thing. So it's like, if they got time, they could just be going around right now, looking at all the bridges in the United States.
Yeah.
We're going to put over this bridge. We're going to hit 20 of them. We're going to hit this bridge. 20 of them are going to hit that bridge. We're going to hit this pipeline. We're going to hit these rigs. We're going to hit the White House. We're going to hit this. Mm-hmm. And it's like, they wouldn't even have to be there. They don't have to physically be there. They don't have to be physically controlling them. You just set them on their way and they go.
Yeah.
Incredible. Like, terrifying.
So now we've made millions and millions. Like, even if we don't get into war and kill ourselves with these things, we've made millions and millions of these drones that can be, probably billions of these drones that can be controlled by a computer system. And then we start building AI systems and start letting them take over things.
Yeah, shit.
And then they decide, like, it's Terminator.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Terminator.
Yeah, that's
right
Skynet
there.
and a half right there.
I always used to say, I tell people, if AI goes crazy, we'll be able to shut it off because it won't have control of anything that can actually hurt us. Right? Yeah, sure, they can shut down some power plants, shut down some power grids, but at the end of the day, they don't have any soldiers. No, they do.
Yeah, now they do.
Now they do.
That's right.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a terrifying way to look at her. And that's maybe Canada. If you can't build new aircraft carriers, guys, build those at least.
Build those.
Yeah, let's get some drones.
Build some drones.
Yeah, like that's what we need. Okay, do one thing for us, Canada, for our army. Build some drones.
Build some drones.
You'll save the boots on the ground, and it's just a good way to. I think that'd be a pretty slick way to be doing more.
Yeah.
You know, for saving soldier wise.
Yeah.
You know, you don't got to send just a bunch of dudes running over the trenches.
Yeah.
Like old school. You know, send thousands of
in
drones.
their skirts.
Yeah, send thousands of drones over.
Send thousands of drones.
Yeah.
Oh man, unbelievable.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what our future is, Nate.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Well, we better. You know what? That just makes me. You know what? That just makes me think. Is we better figure our shit out.
Yeah.
We better figure our shit out and fast,
Mm-hmm.
because we've got. I mean, this terrifies me far more than nuclear.
Yeah.
It does, because at least if nuclear happens, like, we die quick.
Yeah.
We don't even see it coming, right?
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah.
Right? We're ashes up again, like on the wall.
And I feel like it's less likely because nukes are so like damaging for long term too, right? Like, and they could be a worldwide wipeout. You know, if we all start nuking each other, the world's going to be useless.
Yeah.
So, but drones, it's like, you know, you didn't come back from that.
Yeah, this is
you can rebuild.
You know, and you could conceivably get them to your enemy without your enemy knowing they're coming.
Even knowing.
It's too late.
Oh yeah, you get some Tesla style batteries on there where they can last a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe you can fly these things across the fucking ocean.
Maybe.
They got no idea.
Yeah.
You know.
It's crazy to me. So we need to figure out our stuff.
Or they'll be like solar powered or some shit.
Yeah.
You know, so they could all fly. Hypothetically.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
You're flying them across and they could be solar powered. Somehow they can charge while they're flying. You know. And they're starting to die down a little bit. You land them on some fucking little island somewhere.
Let them charge back up.
Yeah, they can charge back up and take off again. Fucking gone, right? Like, that's totally a fucking real thing that can happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the way of war is definitely changing.
If you wanted to starve a country to death, like take a country like England for example, or you know, countries that are depend on shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Think back into World War II, right, where you know the Nazis they didn't bother really with. I mean, they had some big ships like the Bismarck, and you know everybody knows about those. They hid those ships. Right?
Yeah.
They tried not to fight with those ships because they knew that the English Navy was more than a match for them. That there was no hope in fighting. Right. The sister of the Bismarck was actually docked for most of her life.
Yeah.
And then I think she was sunk at anchor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was bombed to hell and back.
Yeah.
At anchor and just, yeah.
Yeah, if you did that, disrupt the food line or disrupt the.
You take a country like England.
Yeah.
Like you could send those things out to take out their shipping, and they wouldn't even know. They'd be like, "Where did the ships go?"
Yeah. How come the ship's not answering us?
What happened?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You'd never even know what happened.
No, and you wouldn't know who did it.
No. Not a
Is
clue.
another thing, right?
Yeah.
Like it's almost
who
like
do you send your missiles after when you don't know where to send them?
yeah, there's no fingerprint on it or nothing. It's
Yeah.
just fucking gone. Yeah.
The ramifications of
Because that's like with nukes, you could trace back with a nuclear, like the
trajectory.
that trajectory, but you can also change like the makeup of it,
Yeah.
the chemical makeup of the nuke. Like when they test it, they could be like, oh, this kind of fucking uranium is only available in this mine, and that's where Russia gets their nukes from.
Mm-hmm.
So you know it was Russia.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a bunch of fucking little things that blew up. There's tiny little pieces of plastic everywhere. You wouldn't know nothing.
Yeah.
You know. Like, yeah,
That's crazy.
That's scary shit.
That is so scary.
Let's hope that doesn't happen, gang. But you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, today's was a little fucking. Might have went off kilter for a little bit there, but yeah, we're looking forward to next time. We're gonna come in, have some fresh topics on the go, and hopefully when we come back. I just want to see some. What I'm having a problem with, Nate, too, is that like there's nothing going on in our government at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's nothing happening for us to talk about for like where we're going. It's everything about the States all the time, right? It's like, and I want to hear something going on with our freaking government, man. I'm tired of this already.
For sure.
You know, I'm tired of just having nobody at the helm. I want to hear like, hey, this is what Canada's doing like for the tariffs. This is what we're going to be doing. There needs to be some actual stuff so we can have some back and forth about what the best plan of attack is for that. Because right now it's all just ripping up in the air.
Yeah, that's a huge problem, right?
Yeah, it is, man. It's hard to fucking. I don't know. It upsets me.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk going on, but nothing really.
Yeah, and I don't want to. It's like beating a dead horse. I don't want to keep saying the same shit. But man, it's upsetting.
It's upsetting because
You know?
it's really it sucks too. I was thinking about this earlier today that every time I do a podcast, it seems like we're talking about a lot of the same topics over and over again, but those topics just keep dragging on.
I know.
Right, and there's just enough new stuff to warrant. Oh, we better bring it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'd like to see something where we can.
I don't want us to become the podcast that's all about
Yeah.
American and Canada politics.
Yeah, exactly.
That is not by far not what this podcast was made to be. It's just kind of what's been in the news.
Yeah. And that's what's been taking us over for lately. So, but yeah, next time we're gonna have some other fresh shite. Try not to bring us down too much with the old depression about how the state of politics between the Canada and the United States.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Actually, it was still a good one there, Nafy.
I think so. I think it was pretty interesting. The whole drone thing kind of threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to definitely reformulate some opinions on what I believe should happen in the world.
Yeah.
But I think I think at the end of the day, we can talk about these big ideas and stuff and these big things that are going on, and we should, right? Those things should be talked about. I think. I think your sneeze hit me.
I'm contagious over to you.
Yeah. Let me just heal up from this.
I hear you. I know what it's like.
So I think at the end of the day, we should talk about these things and we should understand these things are going on. But, we can't do anything about these things, right? Not really. Not really. At the end of the day, I think we have to make sure that these things don't distract us from the day-to-day things that we need to do and what we need to do to build our families and our communities better, right? I think the world is in such a state that the way to fix it, everybody kind of comes up with these ideas to fix the world that are all they're all big things. We do these big things to do them. And I think really at the end of the day, it's the small things that need to change. We need to change. We need to give people. I'm a strong believer that we need to give people better role models. Mm-hmm. And that's how you really change the world. Because trying to change the world by force is a great way to make people hate you.
Yeah. And yeah, I need to do it at a local level too, right? Like do it in your communities and stuff. And also not be scared to talk to one another about if you have different opinions.
Right, exactly.
That's the only way you're going to get to the bottom of it, man. We're all human beings here. We're all people, Mm-hmm. So let's get to the bottom of it by not being scared to talk to people. When somebody comes up with an idea you don't agree with, you don't need to shut them down. Mm-hmm. You can chat about it, like grown-ups.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And I'd also like to tell people too that when you see a lot of this stuff going on online, because there's a ton of backlash online and back and forth, and nobody's talking, everybody's fighting.
Yeah.
Right? Don't get yourself involved in that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You get yourself involved in that stuff. I mean, that just takes up a shit ton of your time that can be used for doing better things.
That's right, man. And you create if you're got negative stuff going on, you're just gonna be negative all the time.
Yeah.
You focus on positive stuff, positive things will happen. And I think that's gonna be more so what I try to do too, moving on with the podcast too, be a little more positive about our future with it and shit, and talk about some other things too, because that's the thing too, Nate. If we just focus on this all the time, which is hard not to, because that's all that's going on, but it's like you just said, in the end, it's good to open people's minds to it, to know what's happening, right? If there's big shit like that. But in the end too, it's it's too much. It's too much to be talking about it all the time, letting it completely control your whole life, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what they want too.
I think it is too. It's a big distraction. Right?
Yeah.
And it takes us away from the more important things.
Yeah.
Like the more important things in our lives and what's going on, right? A lot of this stuff is a distraction to keep us from thinking about what's actually happening in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They like keeping us distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're like a magician. When they're doing something over here, what's really going on is something over here.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Keeping you blind to it.
I think, at the end of the day, if you give this world, if everybody just kind of sat back and said, okay, I'm just going to work on myself and my family and my community I think in 10 years, the world would be fixed.
Oh, it'd be unrecognizable.
Right?
Yeah, for the better.
Yeah.
100%. I agree.
Yeah, I know. In my Good Man Initiative stuff, I've even had people come out and say, because that's what my Good Man Initiative is about. Really, is about making better role models and strengthening people at a local level, right? Your local interactions and what you make as a community, right? And I've even had people come out and say, well, why are you talking about this stuff? All this bad stuff is happening over here. And I'm like, yeah, that bad stuff is happening over there, but you and me talking about it isn't doing anything about it.
No, that's right.
Right?
Yeah, it's just add more negativity to your day that you've already seen enough negative shit in.
Yeah, for sure.
Just try looking at some positive things that we can do to try to make your life better.
Yeah.
Because, thinking about that all day and looking at all the negative stuff ain't going to do nothing for our life, man.
Yeah.
It ain't going to change Trudeau's way of doing things. It ain't going to change Trump's way of doing things. It's not going to change nothing.
Yeah.
But what you are in control of is your own life and your own destiny. So try looking at the positive stuff and fixing that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And we all need fixing.
Everybody does.
Everybody's got something that they could use.
Man, remember when you were a kid and you look at adults and you're just like, man, I can't wait till I got it all figured out when I'm an adult. Fuck, and then you find out when you're an adult, you're like, fuck, nobody's got it figured out.
Nobody's got it figured out.
Everybody's just, holding on for dear life, trying to do their best, man. And that's all it is. Man, everybody's got problems. Nobody's life is perfect. Yeah. Everybody's not sure what they're doing. They're just, thinking that this is the best way. Some people are more successful than others. That's just sometimes it's luck of the draw too. There's people out there who work really hard sometimes and they don't get to where they get to the same place that other successful people are.
Yeah.
But you just got to focus on the positive stuff in your life and keep moving on. Everybody's got something good in their lives. A lot of people got bad stuff going on.
Yeah.
Try to focus on the positive.
Yeah, and if you got nothing with bad stuff going on in your life, try to make something good out of it.
Get rid of your friends.
Right? Yeah.
If everything's negative, I guarantee you're hanging around with negative people too.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed that's happening.
Yeah.
And and if you live in a place where there's nothing positive happening, I've always, you hear people talking all the time on the news about how, my community is filled with crime and hatred and racism, and I just don't know what to do about it. Well, in the end, the answer really is move.
Yeah, you can move.
Right. Do what you got to do to get your family to a place that is going to give them positive.
That's right. Because even if I understand like being broke too, but you could be broke somewhere else too.
Yeah.
Where that's not as bad, and then you can start moving up.
Yeah.
Because there's it's tough when you live in a bad spot. I can guarantee it. I understand, but you can move on to get to a more positive area. Because if you're around shootings all the time, it desensitizes you to all that crap too, and then you're just living in that negative mind space 24/7. So.
If you live in an area where you're worried that the cops are going to pull you over and pull you out of your vehicle and beat you, then maybe don't live in that area.
Mm-hmm.
There's you got to think about that too. When you live in that, everybody comes after the cops too about that. And at the end of the day, those cops are trying to perform a job in a very rough area.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of crime going on there where they've had a lot of bad problems.
Yeah.
Where they can't be soft approach kind of stuff all the time,
No, they gotta be hard too, because if they're not hard, they'll get killed.
Exactly.
And that's the area you live in.
Yeah.
That's the area.
Yeah.
So if you can get away from that area, do it, especially for your family. If you got kids, right?
Yeah, don't put them through that crap, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
because they got nowhere to go. So they're just gonna go to gang, go to drugs and everything, right too. And it's a shame. It really is. But there is areas where that's just what it is,
Yeah.
And there's people who want to keep it that way. Yeah. So it's like you can choose to move out or choose to stay the same, and it's not going to get any better.
Mm-hmm.
Those areas aren't going to, like Detroit's done. The ghetto parts and stuff. It's like it's not going to get any better. Vancouver down on Hastings. If you're homeless down there, guess what? You're going to be homeless down there doing crack and stuff forever because it's not going to change.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to move to a different area, get out of there, go to someplace more positive.
Yeah.
And that's the only way that you can change your outlook, because you're just going to be negative Nancy for the rest of your life, because guess what? Your whole life is negative. There's tons of negative stuff happening around you all the time. Yeah.
Bedros Killian, I think I've quoted him a couple times on here. He says that you become the sum of the 5 people that you most hang around with. Right?
Yeah.
And that is a true story. If you hang around with negative people who are doing drugs and drinking themselves to to death on the weekend, and there's violence, and these are just the people that you hang out with. You will become that.
Yeah.
You 100% will. You have to.
Yeah.
That's what you see.
That's right. Yeah, that's how life works.
Yeah.
And you don't want to see that when you're younger. Your parents are right. They're like, hey, don't hang out with that guy. He's trouble.
That's a true story.
Yeah. And then you're like, what do you mean? Tommy's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a little crazy sometimes, but and then guess what? Then you're hanging out with Tommy one time and he does some crazy shit and you're a part of it.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. It's like if you weren't hanging around with him, guess what? You never would have done that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And that goes to big picture stuff when you're older too. It doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
Mob mentality's there. If you're hanging around with bad people, you're gonna do bad shit.
And you know what? At the end of the day, too, if you come home from work and all the guys you hang out with at work just kind of sit on the couch after they finish work and do nothing, and they're not really going anywhere, and you know what? That's fine. That's comfortable living, right? They go to work. At the end of the day they go home, and in 20 years they're gonna have a heart attack, and you're not gonna hear from them anymore. But
yeah.
At the end of the day, that's a thing too that you learn from the people that you're around.
Yeah, if people aren't getting up and getting after it, then it's not so much. It's kind of lazy, but it's not like because they still go to work, they still do everything. You know what I mean? It's just they're comfortable not doing that stuff, not being healthy, not exercising and stuff too. So then you get comfortable doing that too. So you are gonna be the people you hang around with.
Mm-hmm.
If you hang around with people that are exercising all the time, going to the gym and stuff, you're gonna do that stuff.
Yeah,
that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're hanging out with people that are going to better themselves, like you always see millionaires hang out with millionaires, right?
Mm-hmm.
You never see millionaires. They might have come up from having nothing, and you never see the people that they hung out with being still with them.
No,
because they can't have those people.
Yeah, I had to cut ties with them, right?
Yeah.
100% true. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's you are, like Jordan Peterson says, it's what your reality is based upon what you sacrifice.
Yeah, good way to finish her up right there.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Old JP to the rescue. He knows his shite.
He does know his shit, yeah.
What a beauty.
Yeah, and you look at him and what he's sacrificed to get to where he's
he's
just,
Yeah, he's had a pretty rough go.
He has.
He's stuck to his guns the entire time too.
Even that was a massive sacrifice. He sacrificed his comfort, his ability to do business in his field in Canada, his ability to walk down the street. He sacrificed that. He can't anymore, right? Jordan Peterson is a man that cannot go for a walk downtown.
No.
Right?
Definitely not.
That's gone.
Yeah.
He'll be attacked.
Yeah, for sure he would, yeah.
And that's sacrifice.
Yeah, damn straight, man. Major sacrifice. Yeah.
And a lot of it he's done for us.
He has. That's what people need to see. He ain't doing it for himself.
Yeah.
He's trying to bring awareness to what the hell's going on in the world.
And that's something I'd like to see a lot more in this world. Like, even when it comes to sacrifice, we have to remember, too, that sometimes we need to sacrifice for the better of the world. Mm-hmm. That building that better version of yourself is maybe not just for you. Maybe it's so that you can be a better role model for your children, which changes the world.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. That's one of the big things. It's got to give them a role model to look up to, something to base their behavior off. Because if you're acting like a crazy, that's one thing I don't like about like all the TikTok and shit too, man. I see like parents like messing with their kids all the time. It's like just for TikTok views and shit.
Yeah.
Like, man, get that stuff off there.
Yeah, for sure.
Not a fan of that, man. Down to like the littlest thing. I don't like making kids cry. I don't like seeing that kind of stuff when they're messing with them. Yeah, I don't know. That's just me personally, but I think that's kind of where everything's about, the social media and the views and all that crap, right? So it's like they don't think about long-term consequences that they're doing, and they're doing this silly shit all the time. So look out for your family. Mm-hmm. Look out at a local level what you can do for your community. And like we said earlier, if you're hanging around with bad people, bad shit's going to happen in your life. So look for a better crowd to hang out with, get healthy, and things will start looking up for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really, if you just do those things, the world will change.
Yeah, the world will change.
The world will change. You'll change people in this world, and they'll go out and make the world change.
That's right. Because you know what old Theo Vaughn said? He says some little nuggets every now and then, guys. If you don't change, then nothing changes.
Yeah.
Damn good way to look at it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, if you don't change, nothing changes. You can think about all the things you want, all the nice thoughts about what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. If you don't actually change, nothing changes, Nate.
Yep.
So.
And I kind of see myself as I'm in this mode of sacrifice for the future and building a future. And I get off work and I come home and I go to the gym. I work 10, 11 hours in a day, 5 days a week, and I come home and I go to the gym. I go to the gym, I'm there for 3 hours. I come home and I'm doing research for videos and for topics and for pictures and trying to. I'm also learning my way through the world, and taking in all this information and trying to build a better way forward for myself. And then on the weekends, I come here, I do the podcast, I record some videos, and my life is so full.
Yeah,
Busy, man. So full. It's so busy, and that's what it takes for me to do what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
So things get sacrificed. I can't. There are people that I used to hang out with that I can't go out with anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because they bring me down, or because they just don't. And it's nothing. It's not bad for them. I'm not saying anything bad about them.
Yeah.
It's just you're not in the same place anymore.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
in a place of building, and a lot of people, especially my age, are in a place of staying comfortable.
Yeah.
You can't be comfortable and build at the same time.
No. Yeah, being comfortable is like, that's when shit starts going down.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, it is, man. Yeah, you can't, living a life of comfortable, it's overrated, I think, man.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, living a life of comfort.
I don't believe we're made to be comfortable.
No.
I don't think that's how we're supposed to be. I think that's where a lot of our anxiety comes from, is we're designed to handle problems.
Yeah.
And issues and physical.
Yeah, and we're supposed to have goals.
We're supposed to have goals.
Yeah,
right? We're supposed to be building towards something. I think the second, especially a man stops and doesn't have a goal to work towards anymore, he just kind of becomes nothing.
Yeah. I can see it in his own head.
Yeah.
He starts getting in on himself,
Yeah.
whether they say it out loud or not, they always think they should be doing something else or doing something better than they're doing it right now,
Yeah.
And if you sat there long enough and you don't do fuck all, you're going to be thinking you're useless.
Yeah.
Pretty goddamn quick.
I look at people who retire, like when they get to 65, and you see some guys, they hop on it, they get into things, they go out, they keep themselves busy, they find new things, besides what their job was, to fill their time, and they keep their lives full. And those guys, they live to, like, you see them at 80 years old and you think, oh, that guy's like 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you see other guys who get to retire and they're like, oh, I get to sit on the couch and watch TV, and they sit on that couch and they don't get back up again, and then by the time they're
5 years later, they're dead.
Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's a real stat, man.
That is absolutely
people,
true.
Yeah, when they retire, if you don't have a goal or something to keep you going, man, you start deteriorating quickly.
Yeah. If you stop moving, you die.
Yeah. Yeah. True story, man.
And it's and especially when you get up, if you start losing your goals earlier, like if you're losing your goal, if you're 40, 45 years old and you don't have a goal, man, how far are you gonna make it?
Oh, exactly, man.
Before you're done.
Yeah. No, you gotta have something, man. You gotta have a plan for the future.
Yeah.
And you gotta be working towards it on the daily.
Yeah. Donovan and I are both working towards plans for our future, right?
That's right. Both have a pretty similar plan, too.
Pretty similar plan.
Yeah.
That's a true story. Homestead, yeah.
Yeah, damn straight.
Simplify it.
Yeah, because the cool thing about that, man, is once you have a homestead, you could be technically retired, but you're working every single day still.
Yeah.
You got animals you got to go feed, you got crops that you're going to be making for a garden, you're going to be making cool stuff, maybe you're making an irrigation system or putting in new pumps for water and stuff for your land, there's always something to do when you have a homestead, so that's what that's my way of going to be. I could be retired, but also I have a whole new life ahead of me.
Yeah.
It's like you're always going to be busy doing something. I think you'll be so much healthier and happier living that kind of lifestyle.
For sure.
Yeah, because you're doing something that you want for yourself, for your family.
Yeah.
And you could actually be there every single day with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that sounds perfect.
Yeah, man.
Just absolutely perfect.
Yeah. Hopefully only a couple of years away.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We're working towards it, and we're putting in some pretty heavy work towards that. So.
That's right. That's why I started my new gig. Started my new job to get there sooner. That's one of the main reasons. I was comfortable in my old job. It was really good. Like, I loved the people that I was working with. But I just realized that I was never going to be able to make it a reality. It would have been until I was freaking 65 years old, and I just wasn't willing to wait that long. So, changed it up. You gotta be comfortable being uncomfortable at times.
Yeah.
To get to where you want to be. So, it was uncomfortable changing, starting new things, but I'm looking forward to what it's going to do for me here in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Once we get a homestead Navy, we'll just be killing it. Then we could pump out podcasts all the time.
Oh, yeah.
We could be walking around, coming in covered in chicken shite. We can go walk around, film the animals we got going on, and be like, look where we started.
Yeah.
Started in Sparwood, filming episode number 1. Here we are, episode number 50, episode number 100, and we have a homestead.
Yeah.
That's what I can't wait for, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to see the change.
Yeah.
And then, you can see our progression.
Yeah.
And maybe that'll help people get it on board too,
Yeah.
Be like, wow, look what these guys did.
Mm-hmm.
Started out just in a room doing their podcast. Now they reached their goals a few years later. Now they're just living their best lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, buddy.
And you know what? Once the work is put in, it's just a matter of time.
That's right, man. Yeah. Manifestation too.
Manifestation.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You just got to do it. You got to work harder than the next guy. Yeah. And put your time in, man.
Yeah.
And, we're still plenty young enough to make her happen, Navy.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. You want to hit up some closing thoughts?
Yeah, that's kind of my last closing thoughts. Is like,
that's kind of it.
Yeah, I think that
I kind of feel like we kind of
nailed it at the end there. Yeah,
closing thoughts.
Yeah, that was a pretty good ending.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna go over what we just said.
Yeah, no, exactly, man. I think that's pretty good stuff there, man. Keep shooting for your goals, and always, don't try to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah,
try new things. Don't hang around with shitty people. The basics. But I think that I'm excited to see where our future's going to go with this podcast and with the homestead in general in our lives later on, man. I think that'd be pretty impressive to be able to show that off to people.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Show them, what the hard work did.
Yeah, and you know what? We're going to see theirs too.
Exactly.
Right? You guys send us in like. Get in the comments. Tell us about what your plans are.
That's right.
What
you
I
want to see
in your life.
Yeah, where exactly what you're on your way to.
Yeah.
Show us where you are now, and then you can show us where you're at in a month. Show us where you're at in a year. Tell us, keep us updated with it, because we'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
I'd love to see your guys' progression too. Where you're starting off, and then a couple years down the road, so you're getting your property and starting to build your homestead.
Yeah, I'd be so sick to see that.
Let's see this stuff.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Chasing your dreams and getting what you want out of life, and making it just an absolutely wicked life for yourself.
Yeah, I want to see that too. Yeah, keep us in on it, because that keeps us fired up too.
Yeah.
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 Definitely, man.
Yeah, like make this like a whole community, right?
Yeah.
That's another thing, the one nice thing about online, about social media and this system is you can also use it to build a community. So
yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Do that instead of focusing on the negative. Yeah, let's pump each other's tires up.
Yeah.
Help each other out.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. Fuck yeah, buddy.
Awesome. All right.
Thanks, gang. We'll see you guys next episode. Be like episode number 9.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So number 9 for the next one.
Yeah. So this one, I guess we already went over this last time. Every time we say this, well, this one's on the 31st, but it's like there's no point in saying that.
Yeah. Well, I had some issues with the last one, so it's come out a little late. Somehow lost a whole bunch of audio off of it, but
we're not technical gurus, guys.
No.
Working men. Working through all the technological problems.
Yeah, I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's doing pretty good too. Yeah, we're gonna keep her up, and we'll see you guys next podcast.
All right.
Okay.
Love you guys.
Peace.